Action!
Hi there everyone, welcome along to another Jenny Monday Club, and today we've got special guest Ollie from Wardle Road.
Round 2.
Yeah, so it's great to have Ollie back, and that noise you're hearing of a Class 8 is actually Ollie's Class 8. So, what was that?
I didn't do anything, honest.
I think that was something falling off that maybe.
What are we doing?
Has all of your stuff just fallen apart straight away?
No, that was very peculiar. It felt like it came from behind me.
Yeah, something's clunked. Well, that's a good way of starting, isn't it? Why wouldn't you like to say hi to everyone, Jen?
Shall we see who we've got in here while we're...
Where is your phone, Jen?
It's just up here. I don't know, that clunk is going to... Oh, I wonder if it's something, if the drawer wasn't quite right and it's just dropped.
Could be, yeah.
In fact, yeah, that's probably it. Anyway, it's great.
Well,
to see
that's a
you all.
lovely way of starting. You're so professional, Jennifer.
So what we're going to do is I need to get the comments and stuff up. But yeah,
We've got... Sorry,
have you got the comments up? Right,
got
brilliant.
Anfield in.
A lot of people have been saying hi straight away, which is great to see.
Robert Becking, Combat Bunny, Mike O'Brien.
We got the crew in, brilliant. So just check.
Adams Railway says hello, Wardle Road again, and Zoe in the background.
Hello there.
Model Railroad Techniques, evening from Australia. Chris Whittingham, hi Jenny and all. It's great, we're getting loads of people in from around the globe, but welcome along.
60 already? Oh my god.
Is it?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's only 58 showing on my phone.
Why aren't these moving? Why aren't they moving?
Yo, you what now? Basically, we're getting rushed here by the cupboard monkey, but essentially, what we need to do now is let's get some stoofs running.
Right, I'm going to go and get your stool now.
Thank you very much.
509. Oh, that's the. I'm wondering which one that was. So,
Is the sound coming through all right? Yeah, that looks like it's pretty good.
So let's get that one running. Loco.
Good evening, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? And
Before I go and get the stool, guys, we have here an Australian-style plug. And anyone from Australia, can you explain to me what this one is at the top?
it'd be the Earth.
If you plug it in... Sorry, I'm probably shouting really loud in that macro.
Yes, you are.
If you plug this in, does something come out and connect into there? Or do you just have, like, a spike coming out of your sockets? Because it just looks weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's weird.
They must have an earth inside their plug already then.
I get
Yeah.
but we've got there's an Aussie in the house.
I'd love
we've
an
got,
explanation.
so
72 people watching that.
74 on mine.
78. It's gone up very
Fat
quickly.
Wallaboy evening just on the 350 Rattler heading home. Oh gosh.
On a bay like that.
Melchester Model Road says Zoe has her gronk going already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
so-
gronk it.
We should have. There's 5 locomotives currently running because I have invested today. I have been up to DCC Concepts, so a big thank you to Richard Brighton up at Settle at DC Concepts showroom, who showed us round, did some interviews. That's going to become the Saturday video. But it's quite interesting actually because DCC Concepts is a lot more than just DCC, and in some respects it's an unfortunate name because it hides the fact that a lot of their products are suitable for DC stuff, and also they do a lot of scenic material as well and things to add a lot of realism to various bits and pieces. I've managed to rip a huge hole in my sock for some reason. But let's have a look. Combat Bunny says sound is perfect. Mike O'Brien says, I see you have unchained Ollie for the night. Yes, we've taken him out of the modelling dungeon and we've left Les down in there. Les isn't feeling very well at the moment. He's got a cold.
Hope it's not the old...
No,
C-word.
it's not that. But Matt Maz 2, greetings to you. Moreland Model Railway Andy,
Thank you very much.
hi to you. Matty Patty, as long as you
there's some biscuits there.
don't talk about cars again, I'll be happy. Cars? But
Don't start her on Volvos.
no, I don't actually have a model Volvo. I've got a lot of British Leyland products.
What an
in here
oversight.
because this layout is set in the deepest, darkest sort of like late 70s, early 80s. where British Leyland, Catsick Yellow and Pooh Brown were like the colours of choice.
You're such a good descriptor of them.
That's what we used to call them. Catsick Yellow and Pooh Brown. Oh, white chocolate. I love white chocolate.
Tonight's live stream is being produced via biscuits.
Oh, look at that.
I'm alright at the moment, I think.
Oh, it's good. Oh.
Drink?
Oh, yes, please, yes. Wash again, please.
Um,
Guys, I don't know if you before I went on about how good the pasta bake was here. I've only just found out today that it was actually corn.
The cupboard
amazing.
monkey's an evil vegetarian, so a lot of what we eat here is corn or soya based.
I could not tell the difference. Really could not tell the difference.
Yeah, so you're doing your bit for the environment as well. But
Evening, Leslie.
Ben Davis says, hi, thanks for the streaming. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's always great to have you all taking time out from your schedule to join the Monday Club. And actually, we haven't set a title, but one of the things that I actually want to talk about, now I'm going to talk a little bit about DCC concepts, but I think it's the big elephant in the room, the big C word, coronavirus, and how is that affecting the hobby? And I've seen criticisms levelled at some of the retailers, some of the manufacturers for problems with supply schedules slipping. And actually, when you talk to the retailer, talk to DCC Concepts about this, and they were very upfront about issues with getting stock out of China at the moment. I've spoken with Scott Rhodes at Oxford Rail as well, and I know as well from Hornby. Delivery schedules are getting pushed back because quite literally nothing is being made in the factories, and even product that's been finished, there's nobody at work to load it,
to ship it out.
and you know, I think Maersk, the shipping line that has the container ships, I believe a lot of their crews as well are just going, we're not going into some of these ports where there's been a lot of outbreaks of coronavirus, and you can't really blame them because if you get something like coronavirus onto a closed environment like a ship, we've seen what's happened with the Diamond Princess. So at the moment,
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
At the moment, I think I've seen optimistically the end of May being bandied around for the Stephenson's rocket, the regular version, and I predict that may slip a second time at the moment. It's one of those things, but do not blame the retailers, don't blame the manufacturers either. They have no say over this, and indeed even the factories are being put in a very difficult position where obviously they've got to balance business needs with the safety of their workers, and a lot of factories are electing that actually it's just safer not to restart production until they can be absolutely certain. I'm talking about
my hand!
I'm talking about serious stuff here.
I know Digitrax in America, it wasn't the coronavirus, but they had a tornado, I think, that went through their factory.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it took me a long time to get my controller, but it eventually turned up. And
yeah. But also, watch this space. At the moment, there was a Cobra meeting. Makes me sound like I'm really like plugged in, finger on the pulse, what's going on. But actually, no, a DCC Concepts were telling me, oh, yeah, keep an eye on this. They've said that at this moment, there's no restrictions on public groupings of people, so things like sports events and model railway exhibitions. But this is an ever-changing environment, so just keep an eye on things. Let's have a look.
The way I see it with coronavirus is no matter what environment you're in, because it's an air-spread virus, there's really not many ways to limit the spread of it. Like on an underground train, you have hundreds of thousands of people who use a train in a day. Saying don't go to this football match or shake hands with people is just like there's only a certain amount of avoiding you can do.
One of the things as well you have to bear in mind is that winter flu that happens every winter is technically more dangerous.
It's killed more people.
Yeah. You're actually more likely to die in a car wreck than die of coronavirus. It's as simple as that. In fact, the statistics I saw, you're more likely to commit suicide than die of coronavirus. But
Yeah, the percentages I think were under 50,
Yeah.
like 0.2% or something like that. It's,
yeah, so I think the media does shoulder a lot of blame here, but we can't get away from the fact that this is an unknown illness, as it were. There's no vaccine for it, so sometimes, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think that if they do ultimately ban, they make events like Mother Railway events and sports
Yeah,
events.
someone just said actually concerned about Ali Pali. I think there was an email going around that said if you have any of the symptoms or think you might at all, just stay as far away as you can from the event.
Yeah, the organisers of the is that sounded like it might come off the track. But the organisers of Alexandra Palace at the moment, it's effectively they're just keeping an eye on things. There's no immediate plans to cancel Alexandra Palace, but obviously they will depend on the guidance from the government.
Depends how bad it is closer to the time. It's still a couple more weeks.
And that's it, about 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just they're playing it by ear. But there is no immediate plans to cancel Alexandra Palace, but it's all beholden to how things develop. So just, keep an eye on things.
Hello Tim from FMR Station House. Canadian Rail fan says, hello Jenny and Waterroad. I'm coming to the UK hopefully. Where should I go if I'm around the whole UK? Well, I'd say obviously go do the sightseeing in London. That'd be
Oh yeah, I
non-stop.
mean if you come, where are they coming from? Do they say?
His name's Canadian Rail fan, so I'm going to guess.
Of course, yes, I do know who that is. Well, obviously, sightseeing London. But in terms of, I'm assuming because you're asking us, you want tips on railway-related places. I would say if, for example, you get to York, National Railway Museum, but also Shildon is quite good. The locomotion outpost.
London Transport Museum.
Yeah, is that the one at Covent Garden?
Yes, I think. They've got a big one opposite Acton Town Station.
So I remember going into a shop in, I think it was Covent Garden.
It might have been. That's where they were selling those S-Class, the S stock.
Yeah, because they were actually for sale when I went
and then
in there
I regrettably didn't get one, and then they sold out.
They weren't cheap. I mean, that's the
weren't,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, it's like you say, "Oh, I should have got one," but it's a lot of money.
Evening King, Fox Junction, evening Anfield. Oh god, there's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, Chris Whittingham says National Railway Museum at York, definitely. Combat Bunny, Isle of Wight. There is the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, and it is a very picturesque place as well, it has to be said. Oh, those white chocolate ones are far too nice.
Evening Flymo Chairman.
I'll let you read the comments a moment. I'm going to deal with drinks. Today's drink of choice, we're not sponsored in any way, but
If they want to.
if they want to and send it, actually no, screw that. If Jacob's Creek want to sponsor us and send a couple of cases of red wine, wouldn't say no.
Let's have a look at the comments. Yeah, Covent Garden that's what they're saying is the Transport Museum.
But also Bluebell Railway would be a good one to go on. Great Central Railway between Leicester and Loughborough, and then on up to Nottingham. Because you've got the Ruddington Transport and Heritage Museum, the Montserrat Railway, so it's a recreation of an actual mineral line as well, meshing into the main line. So that would be an interesting place. Locomotion, National Railway Museum, East Lancs Railway is actually a pretty good one here in north side of Manchester. There's the Manchester Museum of Science and Industry. That's pretty good in the old, the original Manchester terminus of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. Trying to think other really good
Railway related. I can think of lots of places in London like the Science Museum and the History Museum, which are all great places. Imperial War Museum, they're all great places if you're just looking for a bit of London history, if you like. But railway places, if you're coming over at a sort of particular time, you can always look up if there's any major model railway exhibitions. Come and experience an England, a sort of a UK.
The Canadian Rail fan was one of the crew on Great Model Railway Challenge.
Oh well, he knows all about it. He knows all about it then.
So he's been to Forley.
Yeah.
Howkin Junction says S. Leslie Gilpin, Ham Shackleton, I can hear the clicking too.
That's the trains, I think, just going over the...
I think, right, I did a test stream yesterday. The clicking you're probably finding It may be every time I'm putting my glass down. So actually, when I think about that, I'll put my glass down there. That might help. But it may be picking up some of the as locomotives go over the rail joints. Now we do have on order a new mic holder, which is all sprung loaded. That should get rid of all of that. But it's just, that and a pop guard. They're currently lost somewhere in the postal system, so they are expected.
Matty Patty says North Norfolk. I don't know if you know much about North Norfolk, but I've been there a few times over the years actually, and seen County School Station, which is a disused station now, but they're looking to get it reconnected.
It's not far off the actual. Is it the
East Dereham, I think? Is
the Mid Norfolk
Railway? Yeah, it's along there. It's at the very end of that line, but I know a lot of the line past that now belongs to farmers, so they can't get it. But I think they can. There is the chance to reconnect it to East Dereham.
They own the track bed in between County School and the existing line. Because the existing line existed to the previous station, which was how the line stayed open. And then County School back south, there's about half a mile of track that was laid anyway.
Yeah.
So there's only something like maybe half a mile's gap. But
it's not too much.
I suspect that there's probably a lot of track needs to be brought up to passenger carrying standards.
Yeah.
So whilst there may be track there, it's been disused since the 80s.
Because I've been going probably about 10 years. So my family stayed in a cottage just next to County School Station. Literally, you can see the station from the house. But all the sleepers there have seen much better days than.
Because it went through turbulent times. At one point, there was talk of it just being.
Someone saying it might be the feedback from your phone to the microphone. That can be.
Interesting.
If you have that too, I know sometimes you can get feedback.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Possibly. That's what Les just said.
Oh, interesting. J94 says hi. Huey's train layout, evening, Jenny and guest. This is Ollie from Wardle Road, so check out Wardle Road on YouTube.
Combat Bunny could drop a link in there. We have done there was an interview previous on.
Yes, we did. Yeah, because it was about
channel.
3 weeks ago when you last came. 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Probably about a month. Yeah, around a month.
So Ollie's been here as a guest before, and was such a good guest. We invited him back.
Second time.
Yeah. Trains in the Garage suggests Sparrow Hill, the last working roundhouse. Combat Bunny says, don't forget to smash that like button. Hit that like button and share this too. Let other people know that we're currently online and streaming. Get them along to join in the fun. I'm sure the Cupboard Monkey will be along at some point to prod at me with a foam finger. But yeah, and those people who are wondering, what are we running trains-wise? Well, you're just seeing on your screen the Deltic DP1 go by. This is
got an 08 coming into. Oh wait, that's nice on the opposite side. No,
yeah. They'll see it just behind you in the little picture-in-picture.
Oh yeah.
But then we've also got Backman Class 25 just coming around. This is my van train. I think last week you saw the mineral train going round, which is what you keep commenting about.
The was it 70 wagons? But Jenny knows I'm a huge fan of the box van, so it's nice to see.
Yeah, so I've got all mine out from the fiddle yard, and I think it's 50. Excuse me, 50 plus a brake van I counted. Is what
it still wraps around a third of the layout. So.
Yeah. So I thought for a change we'd have a big van train going around. So does it meet with your approval?
Oh, it does. It's well beyond anything I could put together.
Yeah, you've got to remember I've been collecting these things for 20 years.
Halkin Junction says the feed is fantastic. Brilliant images of your layout.
Brilliant! I'm glad you liked it. We've put a lot of time and effort, and in fact, let's see. Can we shift? Let's just see. Yes.
Hey.
So there we are. That is the back of Weir Yard. So that's over there. In fact, you can probably just about see behind Ollie's right shoulder what will be. If you look for where the van train is, watch for the van train appearing behind you, and that'll give you a sense of. Yeah, so there, it's just coming into shot in both frames, so that gives you an idea of where in the room all that is.
Tim says, Jenny, you possibly get asked this a lot, but what is the width of that bit of layout on your screen? I'm assuming whatever the shot was before, it's probably maybe this bit here. I think.
What from wall all the way out is maybe 3.5 feet, something like that.
So you managed to get quite a lot actually. Oh, this obviously is.
That's a lot wider. That's 4.5, maybe even 5 feet.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a strain to actually reach the back.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that you have to be mindful of is that you still want to gain access.
Yeah.
And I actually, in the back corner right over there, we don't have a camera pointing at it. Getting access to that corner is all but impossible. I actually use the foam finger on a stick to move things because it's just so difficult to gain access there.
Ben Moss says, love the size of the van train.
Oh, thank you. And we've also got, this is our Magical Mystery roving cam. This camera is currently, it's that hooked on there.
Yeah.
So at some point, it's not really the greatest angle, so I'm just waiting for a train to come round. And I think that camera, I am going to put it over in that corner. I think that we get a better image from that.
Yeah.
You're going to see the DP1 come round, along with Bachmann Class 25 coming round behind it. And that's
Getting it all at once.
and that's the van train. I think they're a little bit too close to the camera, so we're getting a lot of motion blur.
You'll see the 08 come across the back of that as well, I think.
Oh, yes, you will. So there's a Class 8 running light loco as well. So you're going to see that coming just at the top right of your screen.
Dale Williams says, Jenny knows what I have offered her, Zoe and Les Cliff. Same offer goes for Ollie if he wants, just need to ask, wink face.
Oh, yes, this Stratford Barn, Stortford Barn, light railway. Is it like a 1940s weekend?
Oh, wow.
Where's
Where's Stratford?
Yeah, whereabouts is that?
I'm not very good at my slightly more up north.
My geography's just gone
Same.
blank. Stanton Junction says, evening everyone, is anyone going to Crewe train fair at the Heritage Centre on Saturday? Unfortunately, I'm working this Saturday.
Same as me.
But I normally work Saturdays, which is really awkward for doing a lot of
Exhibitions,
events. So if I do an exhibition, I'm actually, because I'm down to do Alexandra Palace, I've booked the Friday and the Saturday off work as holiday. My final 2 days of holiday. My precious holiday.
So you'll be there the whole weekend then?
Oh, whole weekend. I'm there with the War of the Worlds layout.
Yeah, I think I'll be there on the Saturday. So if anyone sees us, do come and say hello.
Yeah. Ian Hilper says Epping and Ongar Railway was a great day out with vintage buses running from Epping Underground Station to take you there.
Dale says it's in Tamworth.
Tamworth. Oh, that's not too bad actually. So that's
up
Warwickshire.
Oh, okay.
So just to the right of Birmingham.
Oh, that's not
a
too,
little
that's
bit
not too
up
bad
and
at all.
to the
actually.
right,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of between Birmingham and Leicester. Canadian Rail fan Jenny, do you think I'm mad because I bought Coronation Scott in 5-inch? My future wife thinks so. No, there is hours of endless fun. If you've got a big enough garden to actually lay out a railway for that to run on, as a ride-on steam locomotive, you'll be the toast of the neighbourhood because you can have like block parties centred around the train. There's actually a few people in America who have like ride-on railroads in their backyards.
I actually have a ride-on rail
parties.
train as well. I have a 5-inch gauge ride-on Ruston,
Ah, right.
the Maxi Track Ruston. So I've just fitted a remote control to it, but you can pull about 5 adults on a carriage. It's a pretty nifty little nifty loco. But again,
Where do you run that?
there's a place in Ickenham. I don't know if Ickenham and District Society of Model Engineers, they've got their own track there.
Right.
There's one in Harrow as well, but not enough room in the garden as of yet.
I wouldn't even be able to in this garden either. This Class 8 that you're just seeing on your screen, actually just coming off the bridge over here, this is Ollie's. We've just done a bit of tuning on this.
I do also have the
Oh yes, the sound.
Jason's old DRS.
You're showing it to the mic. You're doing my mistake.
Oh,
the camera's up there.
I was holding it here.
I think actually when I get the pop guard, that's going to change things a bit.
That's got the. You said that was a TTS sound in it, wasn't it?
It is actually,
In
but
an old Lima model.
the Class 20 Hornby TTS sound chip, I think is one of the better in the range. I've actually got a couple, but this Class 20 here is fitted with it. So actually, let's turn the Class 8 off and I will fire up. That's a Hornby TTS Class 20, and it's fitted into a Bachmann 21-pin version of the locomotive, so there's plenty of room in there for the speaker. And it's actually got mounting points for the speaker that comes with the TTS chip. I think it's just because it's a standard size speaker rather than Hornby thinking, oh, we'll make this so it fits perfectly in a Bachmann model. But it is a really good sound, actually. It's got all the right noises.
Is the 27 in front of it sound fitting as well? Is that just?
No, I don't fit a lot of locomotives. It has to be said.
As you say, it you get drains. It drains a little bit, doesn't it?
It becomes a cacophony of sound.
Yeah,
definitely. What I tend to you're right there. What I tend to find is that after a while I get bored of the sound and I turn it off.
Yeah.
But the Class 20 is a good sound. I've got 2 sound-fitted Class 20s. I've got a couple of sound-fitted 37s as well, actually. The Hornby TTS 37, I think it's let down by a very poor speaker.
Yeah.
I dare say that the actual sound is really good, but the speaker is a bit of a naffy speaker.
Sorry.
No.
No, come on in. This is Ollie's girlfriend.
My better
Where?
half.
They
Cameron
can't see me.
is there.
Oh, that camera.
Yeah, that's what I said,
it's
yeah.
facing that way. I thought it was facing on me.
But if you come around, you can see us in the bottom corner. So there you are. So we've got a full house up here. Let's have a look at D827 Kelly says there is Stratford upon Avon, and this always happens. People go off on a tangent.
Yeah, no, I'm
in the
just looking at
comments.
different.
They're now debating all the different Stratfords.
Hi Jen, Zoe. Ronald says just bought a 25 at the weekend from a local show. Now I have 2, both Hornby. See you have a few. Jen, Ronald. Oh, they're talking to each other. I'm interrupting someone's conversation. I
I think
think.
people do that in the comments. It's great because there's quite a nice community feel going. It really works well. Stanton Junction says I'm going to Crewe Heritage on Saturday, then off to Macclesfield on the Sunday. Is there a show on the Sunday? Is that the Macclesfield show?
Oh, Neil says hi, Ollie and Jenny. Great to see you both.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us as well. And Flymo Chairman 1 says 175 watching. Actually, 181, my phone's telling me. Hit that like button. Absolutely right. Don't forget to smash that like button. And also share the video too. Let other people know that we are live and dangerous now with special guest Wardle Road. Ollie from Wardle Road is here. And you can check out his channel if you've not already done so. Have a little tickle of the subscription button as well. And what else was I going to say? Oh yes, you can also buy my books. Allmousemedia.com. You can check out and buy some of my books, and you also get the Jenny Monday Club exclusive mug over on Teespring. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm supposed to name check. You can support me on Patreon as well. I wouldn't. Leslie Gilpin says an N-Gage Class 8 must have a tiny motor to fit a decoder in.
I couldn't imagine doing N-Gage.
You can get really tiny. They're usually 6-pin decoders, and they're like a mini decoder. Lens actually do a really tiny one that's smaller than most blanking plates. So there are ways and means. If it's got a socket, you can usually fit stuff in, but with N-Gage, the difficulty is often sound and stay alive capacitors.
I've got a couple of questions here actually. Tim says you got your 5 minutes of fame. I think that's referring to the trolls on MOICG. But Hobbyman UK says, what does Ollie's other half think of his hobby? So I think.
I don't know.
There's your answer. She doesn't know.
I don't mind.
It's not completely taken over my life just yet, is it?
Yeah.
A little bit. It has.
See, Zoe says it's great that I've got a hobby. Has she shown you her retro game collection downstairs?
No.
I've watched her live stream. A shout out to her live streams actually. I've
There's
watched.
like 2,000 PlayStation 2 games all racked on the wall, all different.
Wow.
Plus, you name the console, she's probably got the console and some games. She's really into the retro games.
Okay.
So I think she thinks that as long as I'm doing this up here, she can
can
get
do that,
away with
yeah,
buying
yeah.
whatever
Anything
she
she
wants.
wants.
Yeah, you can't say don't do that when you've then
Yeah.
gone and bought
But
Rupert, hi Jenny and Ollie, hello mate, thank you for joining us.
when you're coming to visit Bevington Hill, I presume that's your layout, is it?
I've done, yeah. I'll tell you
Where's that in
what,
the
Combat
country?
Bunny says she's a keeper. Yeah, well, until it gets
Too
much.
much.
Yeah. I've already told her I'm gonna have it's gonna have its own room when we have our own house eventually. But
Yeah, there's. I take it you're getting a dab hand of just go. Oh, this old thing. Oh, I just got it for a few pence.
no, she actually this morning she pulled out my receipts in my pocket and.
Oh,
what-
that
He's
is a
emptying
Mickey
his
Mouse.
pockets.
Yeah.
He doesn't empty them, so I picked up his coat
Rookie
and it was so
mistake.
heavy. £42, £30.
I'm saying that
Oh,
was a long time ago.
Dude, rookie mistake.
I know. That's what I
Yeah,
realised
yeah.
that when they were all falling up.
But yeah, the comment. Actually, I was talking to you about this before we went on air. But FMR Station House, 5 minutes of fame.
Because the same person was giving him stick as well for copying his Workbench Wednesdays.
Yeah, I think
So-
what you find is haters are going to hate, and there's a lot of people are very jealous when you do something, be it on the internet, in life in general. There's always people who try and trash that. And I'll be honest, I think my combined airtime across Biggest Little Railway,
Way
Great
more than
Model
5
Railway
minutes.
Challenges, well, I was on screen way more than 5 minutes, pal.
So if you're gonna
not
get it
just
right.
that, but the person who was the hater's going to hate, but if hater had done their research, they would have also found out that I worked briefly for a company called PKE Light. I don't know why I'm addressing it to the microphone. I worked for a company called PKE Lighting. So, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, boom! Amazon Prime: The Collection, boom! Wolf Hall, boom! Torchwood, boom! Broadchurch, boom!
I feel like they're not even watching, but it's good to,
Yeah.
to get off the chest.
Yeah, I was getting it off my chest. Just like if you hear these haters piping up, you can mention all this. Doctor Who, Sherlock. I did lighting logistics for all of these things.
Wow.
So more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I also I've done work for Hat Trick Productions on development projects. Boom! Yeah, so actually, the person who was writing all that, I couldn't find what they'd done.
I googled their name. I googled their name, but it didn't come
Yeah,
up.
it just all I found was a picture of a lizard.
Ham Shackleton says most ladies collect handbags or shoes. Well, we have all different. We've got trains.
Zoe likes handbags.
Oh, really?
I don't collect anything. Do you think about it?
Nothing?
No.
She's like a tidy freak. So
I don't have
anything
no
she can get rid
hobbies.
of-
You're one of these
Anything.
minimalist people.
Yeah.
Who is like, it's like I owned a book once.
Yeah.
Nice. I've done that. I've got it out of my system.
If there's a train on the side of my bedside table or any form of I'll find by the next 10 minutes it's probably found its way to some form of storage bin that I probably won't remember where it
So
was.
you must be like really hating our house with the amount of stuff we've got.
No, not at all. If it's, I can appreciate
It's
other
always-
people's
yeah.
houses. It's in my own space. I don't like it, and Ollie happens to be in my space sometimes. So it's- that's how it
What
happens.
you need to do is make sure he has a room all to
Yeah,
himself. so he can
exactly.
do
I
whatever
don't
he wants.
mind. Yeah.
Bigger the better.
I
Exactly.
completely agree.
Ample
Bigger the
power.
better.
Yeah, and that's the trick. And to be honest, the trick to a happy marriage. Zoe and I have been married now. It'll be 11 years next Sunday.
Oh,
How many train-related
amazing.
arguments have you had?
None whatsoever.
There we go.
Yeah, and she's got no interest in trains. She's the closest we ever got was she thinks Gronks have character.
She did notice that red one wasn't. She did obviously knew that. Didn't
She noticed that was like, what you been buying? What you been buying? But yeah,
FMR Station House says Ollie seems to be enough for a hobby.
Yeah, definitely.
so Canadian rail fan. Sorry, I got to go, Jenny. Driving 4,000-ton freight train from Vancouver to Toronto.
Wow.
Boom. So that's actually quite good. You're getting paid to drive a full-size thing. Combat Bunny, trains are good fun. Yes, they
Agreed.
are. And, as I always say, they're really good at developing transferable skills. because it's an outlet for your creativity, but you learn so much about electronics, how things work, woodworking skills, artistic flair for painting, restoring things, repairing things. There's so many transferable skills in this hobby. And in some respects, you could look at this as, don't get blinkered into thinking it's a toy train set. It's like a form of art. Some people paint paintings, some people do sculpture, some people do embroidery, needlepoint, all these kind of things. Railway modelling encompasses a whole load of different skills. There just happens to be a railway running through what is effectively a sculpted artwork.
Yeah, Flymo Chairman says it's collecting, not hoarding.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm terrible for it. It's like, but it might come in useful someday.
That's
Ollie.
exactly what
That
I
is
say.
Ollie, yeah.
I say, there's like a bit of card left over from a kit, like a complete scar. I go, no,
I might need that one day in 2
Well,
years.
and that's what things like the Quality Street tins, they're just full of stuff
Brilliant
like
stories,
that.
yeah.
I mean, that one's full of little tins of paint, but I got another one that's full of all the leftover bits from a plastic kit.
Yeah.
Where they stuff
Use
like,
them for like signal, like posts and signage and stuff.
yeah,
all
well,
them.
I'll have to at some point. The back bedroom's a bit of a tip, actually. We were going to clear it up. If you'd have like, oh yeah, we'll stay the night. It'd be like, okay, and then we'd have been like, oh crap, I'm going to get all this.
Wake
out.
up with trains on top
But I'll
of it.
show you Grove Street Yard, which is my exhibition layout, and on that is a scrap yard, a model of a scrap yard, and I
Is that the one where it's got like loads of different shunting all the way? I think I might have seen it on YouTube. Briefly.
There are some videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's been in magazines, not for a good many years now. But the scrapyard is essentially me clearing out my scrap box of bits of leftover kits.
Yeah. Rachel says, hi Jenny, do you recommend anyone to spray 2 bodies up for me please? Looking for someone to spray 2 Batman Class 20s into new DRS livery.
I'll be honest, I don't know anybody who personally who does that. I know that there are people out there that do it, and I'm sure that somebody else in the chat room, if you've got
There's going to be someone in there.
if there's a company you can vouch for that that can do that, then do post their details in the chat stream, because that's something that I never commission. I never get stuff resprayed. If something that's really well done comes up second hand, I'm happy to buy it if it's been really well done, but I don't go out of my way to have stuff done. It's the same with renumbering. I never renumber anything.
The only thing I resprayed was, the I was telling you about the Hornby that I put a chip in. That was originally in the kit. It was like black and red, and I just resprayed it BR blue. But it was It's not a difficult livery to do. So.
Leslie Gilpin says, if when I move, the new house must have a cellar or a large third bedroom for the railway. Not going down the shed route.
Cellar would be perfect. I think that's what I need.
One thing you watch out for though with the cellar, because my friend Les, his layout, which was it was huge. If you ever saw pictures of Notlobia, it looks like is it miniature Wunderland?
Oh, in Germany, yeah.
And it was huge. It basically turned the entire below ground floor of his commercial property. It was just like one huge room under the entire building. And he filled it to the point where you had to breathe in and sort of like carefully go down this little thing, and then you'd have to crawl underneath and you'd pop up through a hatch. He filled the room with stuff, and it was amazing quality, but he had a lot of trouble with damp issues.
Oh, really?
You can end up with a cellar getting issues with damp. Not necessarily like water running down the walls, but just to the point where things start to go mouldy.
Same with sheds though, I think, because I think
sheds can suffer
Tim
from
from FMR
that.
the same issue with mould if they're not ventilated correctly.
And sheds as well can have a security element too. You can deal with all of that. But my previous layout was in the garden shed here, and it wasn't big enough. But also there's this. We got burgled about 7 or 8 years ago.
What, here?
Yeah, they broke into the shed. Not the house, but they broke into the shed and stole probably about half of my locomotives.
That must have been a targeted thing, surely.
No, we had a caravan down the side of the house, and that's what they targeted. Because middle of winter, of course, I keep gold bars and negotiable bearer bonds in my caravan. Of course, it was empty. But then, like they got the best robbing pants on, so they decided that they'd have a go at the shed and hit the jackpot. I did get almost everything back, because one thing you find about model railways is it's very difficult to sell them on without it being noticed, especially like an entire
large,
collection. And the best thing to do is if you get a load of stuff stolen, is get the word out there. Post on all the fora you can. Get the word out there. This is what I had stolen, and anything that's unique. So like this, I custom weathered it, or this has been renumbered as this, or say like this has got a crack in the buffer beam. Anything you can think of to identify your specific models, and mine got identified.
So how did the process work? Did you have to then contact the police and say this person?
Oh yeah, they obviously for insurance purposes we had to report it. The police got a crime number, but then I did the extra legwork, and I got word out there. And they were actually, it wasn't me who found them. It was somebody. I think it was on RM Web. I got a message saying, I've just seen these listings going up on eBay.
Yeah.
And they said that like this locomotive, and it was actually the Class 9 diesel shunter I've got that's up there, the Dick Hardy 09012 in Engineers Grey. And they said it's got, I think it was just a little bit of damage, and they said it matches your description of it.
Oh my.
I went and had a look, and the same person, I was looking through the listings going, that's my bloody stuff. So it got recovered. I probably got back about 95% of stuff. God knows what happened to the other 5%. It just wasn't there.
Do you reckon they'd already sold it, or do you reckon they weren't quick enough?
Not clear, or maybe they just destroyed it in the process of nicking it. I really don't know, because some of the bits that were left behind, I had one of the locomotives I never got back was a Hornby L1. I've since replaced it, so I have, in fact, actually, it's this one. This is the replacement for the one that got stolen. But what I do have in my scrap box is a big chunk of its front buffer beam, because they broke it. They're like...
Just yanked it off something, or...
They'd obviously like smacked it on the side when they'd been like getting the best robbing pants in gear. And so there was I've got a huge chunk of the buffer beam off one of these. So like one of the descriptions was, there'll be, if you find one of these, it's missing half its buffer beam, because I've still got that. I've got the front bogie off a Bachmann City of Truro, because they'd caught the front bogie and just ripped it off, and it had snapped the actual attachment.
Yeah.
So I've got the front bogie, just haven't got the rest of the loco. And for whatever reason, those two locos never made it back. But at insurance replacements, I was able to replace them like for like.
Talking of insurance, Patrick Ling says, what do you insure your railways with? Does the house insurance cover it, or do you have a separate...
Right, an important thing about insurance is being underinsured is almost as bad as not being insured at all. And when I say that is, if you, say for example, you get robbed and they nick what turns out to be 20 grand's worth of stuff, and your house insurance only covers you for 20 grand, but they will argue you had more than 20 grand's worth of stuff. So say like you had 80 grand's worth of stuff, but you only insured for 20 grand, and then you had 20 grand's worth nicked, they will only pay you 5,000, because they'll say you had a quarter of your stuff nicked,
And you valued that at 20,000.
and you valued it at 20,000. So being underinsured can come and bite you as well. So the ours is all of our stuff here is covered under the house contents insurance. That's different from buildings insurance. We do have buildings insurance, and that is separate. The contents insurance, we are insured for £100,000. Now you might think, God, that's a lot.
That's everything in your house.
But that's everything. That's like clothes, furniture, carpets, all that kind of thing. And what you've got to remember is, it's not theft that is in the back of your mind. You're not insuring for that amount against theft. Because, I mean, they'd have to roll up with a blooming removal van and spend a couple of days here. Like,
to get this out, you'd probably have to help them.
It's fire. Indiscriminate fire. Imagine what would happen if the place burnt to the ground. It would destroy everything. And that's what you have to insure against.
Do you want anything?
I'm alright, thank you.
Are you good for a drink?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I've got my...
No worries. Cottesmore, it's worth noting you also need to keep receipts of payments, etc. to make a successful claim. Absolutely right. And
I don't think I've got any receipts because I have to
No,
hide
you
them.
don't. I've threw them all away.
to a certain extent, it can depend on if the insurance company's being a bit anal, but there are other ways to prove that you own stuff. So, for example,
Videos,
there's
maybe?
videos. You got it on video, show them the video on YouTube, go, well, that's my model, that's what it looked like, that's what I had. Photographs as well is a really good way. And, it's the same with jewellery. Nobody has a receipt for Granny's engagement ring that's been handed down the family. If it gets nicked, the insurance company's not going to go, well, where's the receipt from when
Find
Granny
some
bought
script
it?
somewhere from.
And that's it. It's like, well, she bought it in 1912. Of course there's no receipt. But you'll have, like, photographs of it, like people wearing it at posh do's and stuff. And that's another way that you can prove the ownership.
And yeah, another thing as well. Someone says kit-built items as well. That's quite hard to put a value on, as you said, inherited items.
What? Paul Harrison said, yeah, still a damn still a damn shame. Did anyone hear anything about Nick Tozer books from Huddersfield? I believe a load of the books were dumped in a quarry. Not heard whether he got his van back. Oh, I didn't know about that. Have I missed a comment?
They're going very quickly, those comments.
Yeah, they do.
Someone said, are you talking about the time where the robbers smashed all your signals?
Yes, they
and buildings?
did.
They smashed the signals and buildings?
Yeah, they nicked the locos.
Yeah.
And then they came back 3 days later, like, oh, I think I best leave them all the rest of the stuff out for them to just help themselves. Of course, I'd emptied the shed.
Yeah.
So out of complete spite, after kicking their way through the door,
Oh, so they tried again?
yeah, they destroyed the door of the shed. They were so desperate to rob from me.
Yeah.
And then when they got into the shed, there was nothing to nick. So that you could see things like there was card buildings, and you could see somebody with their clenched fist just like gone smack and
that is so
deliberately
nasty.
and like signals, like grab a signal and just rip it off the baseboard and just chuck it. So I was finding signals like just chucked into the corner of the room
That
where
is-
they'd just clearly been ripped off. But it's okay. They did find these people, and they did them for criminal damage and all sorts.
That won't stop them doing it again, though. I don't know.
They ended up in prison.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Ham Shackleton says house fire. Been there, done that. Major fire here 15 years ago. All the back of the house was destroyed. And that's the thing. That's what you've got to think. Does my contents insurance cover that? Because a fire, it's not like a crim that, like, well, I'll take the stuff that I can flog down Hooky Dave's. Crims don't nick your odds and sods, but a fire will destroy everything, even things you think nobody in a million years would nick that. No, but a fire will burn it.
Yeah.
Insurance company, what powers they refused cover for it in transit.
That's right, talking of security, I've seen in a lot of groups that people have been making points. Apparently, someone in the comments will let me know, but recently an exhibition got broken into and they stole 20...
That was last weekend, wasn't
Well,
it?
yeah, I think they
6th
stole
and
like
7th.
Yeah, they sold like 20 grand's worth of one. Apparently, it was targeted because they took it all off. They didn't touch the layouts. They took it
They
all
took
off
it
the
from
one.
the traders.
One trading stand. Yeah, and people were saying whether they should increase the ticket prices by 50p each or something to then have someone in there overnight keeping an eye on it.
And this is not the first time an exhibition has been targeted. Unfortunately, people, the Crims have got it in their heads that model railways are now worth something. And that means that, unfortunately...
Well, they really are. Especially some locos.
But unfortunately, now that the Crims think it's easy money, and in a lot of instances, unfortunately, security at shows hasn't necessarily caught up with that fact. So, we had the vandalism case, which was, heartbreaking. But, these targeted attacks, we've got to look out for each other. And I'm really sorry to hear that about Nick Tozer, because I always saw him at shows and that. But, like, to have his stock just dumped...
Yeah.
I mean, it's
almost as if they didn't value it either.
Yeah, basically, it's like, we just want to nick the van sort of thing.
Yeah.
They basically put them out of business, and that is, it does make me quite angry to see that.
Well, obviously, the old criminals have been going on eBay then and seeing the prices, especially when you look at some of these new releases, how much they're going for. They think if they can get a whole store's worth of boxed brand new locos, they can make an absolute fortune.
All right, D827 Kelly says it was Leamington Show, Cheltenham Model Centre. Oh, that's a damn shame, actually.
The show went on, I think, in the end, didn't it? It did end up. It was delayed a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
So
they
was
ended
it
up.
just Cheltenham Model Centre that was targeted, or were other retailers targeted?
Apparently they left the layouts alone, which suggests really that they knew.
They wanted
they were-
brand new in-box items. They weren't interested in shifting like bits and pieces that effectively amounts to second-hand. But where would they sell it? And that's the thing.
You'd have to sell it individually off different accounts to.
Yeah, and it's like if it turns up with a retailer somewhere, well, the likes of Bachman and Hornby and Daypol, they know what they've sold to each retailer, and they talk to each other. Everybody's got everybody else's back. So if that stock turns up unaccounted for en masse, it's like red hot. It's smoking hot. People will figure that out.
Yes, someone said it was just Cheltenham, and Cottesmore said Cheltenham had been robbed a few times at various shows. So it's definitely, sadly, the target is.
I mean, that's weird. Why would they target a specific retail? What did that retailer have that nobody else did? It's almost like it's vindictive. Somebody's got an axe to grind against them.
Yeah.
That's a shame,
That's
because
strange.
I've used Cheltenham Model Centre quite a few times. Always been great service. So really sorry to hear that. So all I can say is help them out, support them. Go and check out their website. I've actually had a few special commissions in the past from them, and if you watched my Smart Power Pack, the N-Scale Smart Power Pack review, the locomotive that's being fitted into was a special commission for Cheltenham Model Centre. So do support them, help them out, and same for Mick Tozer as well.
So, sorry, Matt Randall, if you could confirm where that was, because I bought my 5-inch gauge loco from the place in Kent. I think it is the Maxi Track HQ, but he says they're place in Kent had 25 grand's worth of 5-inch gauge steam locos stolen, and they're worth they really are worth a fortune. But if that is the same place, let me know. That's a real shame, because they're lovely people there.
Yeah.
It's not nice for anyone to have stuff stolen, really.
Yeah, Ron
is it?
Stanbridge says as well, hi Jenny and Ollie, yes, I had some locomotives stolen from the Milton Keynes when I was there with the GMRC layout, not my locos, but a trader. And it's one of the things, actually, because I do a lot of stuff with especially Hattons and Rails of Sheffield. And Rails of Sheffield in particular, when you go to shows, they're selling stock, they've got a big table, lots of stock there. And what I've been told, not just from them, but from other retailers when I've talked to them at shows as well, is that you have to have eyes like a hawk, because the big schedule is they have like the somebody will create a distraction, and then there'll be people that just sort of sweep stuff off the edge of the table, disappears into a rucksack.
Especially the stands where they've got like they have their big stand, and then either side they'll have like an area where they've got like them spinning stands, and if someone's in there and the person's distracted, they could just pull everything off of there. And there definitely is a need for more security, I think, at these places.
And I think what it goes to show is at shows, even us as punters, it does not help the hobby at all when retailers get ripped off in this way, because without the retailers, our hobby gets so much more difficult. So if you see somebody who's clearly nicking stuff, then you need to let everybody around know. Don't just like tackle them to the floor yourself, but if everybody around them knows, like, hey, they're nicking that, and kick up a fuss, we can apprehend these people, because there's
definitely people at every show doing it.
And it's probably not just even model railway shows. Anybody just like retro game fairs and stuff. They'll have the same scummy people doing that. We've got to keep an eye out. We've got to stop this.
Because as you say, if you have we get them boxes of just bits and bobs in it, and you have 5-6 people scrambling through that box, pulling it all over the place. There's no way for the person running the stall to work out where any of that stuff's ending up, whether they're actually going to pay for it or not.
Flying Red Chairman 1, it sounds like a targeted attack. Melchester Model Railway, Jenny, on your long van train, do you renumber identical vans that you have in your collection? Now, we talked about this when you were here last, and because you were asking me about the really long mineral wagon train.
Yeah.
Every single wagon in that van train is unique, and it's factory unique. None of them have been.
So you did the same thing with the vans as well, where you collected them as they.
That's 20 years worth of collecting there.
Oh my god!
So some of them are special commissions. Most of them are complete bone stock. There was a phase when the Bachman vent vans, a lot of retailers commissioned 3-packs. Hattons did a couple. TMC did a few as well. So at the very front of the train, you'll see there's a triple pack of weathered blue and triple pack weathered white.
Yeah.
The weathered ones are both TMC triple packs that I got from them. And I'm a big advocate, and if a retailer...
Those white ones are nice, actually. Really.
Yeah, and the two clean ones are main range, so they're just like a standard issue.
Yeah.
But actually, they look all right mixed in, and they're insulated fans. But I always say, if a retailer has taken a chance and commissioned items, they've obviously had to order and pay for the entire run. That's a big commitment, and I'm always really keen on supporting any retailer that's prepared to do that. Those came from TMC, and I was really happy to add them to my collection.
Someone says, I don't know about anyone, but it's not just to traders, it can happen to anyone at club sales stands. My former club had 2 on the same day a year ago. But I don't get how people have the guts to try and take it off a layout.
Oh, scum! I mean, like our shed got broken into once. We had the second time, kicking through the door. You can imagine how loud that was.
Could you hear it?
Yeah, and they were just like in and out, smash and grab.
So you watched it happen?
No, before we got the cameras.
Oh.
But Zoe just like ran out, and she said she just heard this like come on then, and there was an accomplice over the fence. They just like out, run over, run away. They're just local scumbags. But Will Tucker says Cheltenham Model Centre shop is well worth a visit. Bought my Class 50 Sir Edward Elgar there. Yeah, I've actually been to Cheltenham Model Centre. I went to a wedding just outside Cheltenham, and the day before, we travelled down the day before, and we went into Cheltenham because it has a lot of really good second-hand bookshops, which is one of my other loves. But I did find the time to go and visit the Cheltenham Model Centre shop, and it's well worth a visit. It's a big shop. It's a big range, all on display there, and certainly after they've been shafted like this, I think what we can really do for them is to support them and help bring them out. Same with Mick Tozer as well with his business. I mean, that is heartbreaking. When you're a sole trader, that really hurts. And then what's even more galling is that they just dumped his stock in a quarry.
Yeah, so
and it's like, what utter scumbags.
Someone says, how many tracks on your layout can be run at the same time? Hobbyman UK.
Oh, interesting actually. I've just bought DCC Concepts Cobalt Alpha set.
Had a lot of fun setting that up.
Yeah, we got there in the end. It's the 5 amp booster system, and it still allows me to use my Prodigy Express. So effectively now, the Prodigy Express is sending its track signal to the port on the booster, which is then providing power to the track. So before, I could only reliably run 4 trains at a time. At a pinch, you could do 5, but it was like...
Because you mentioned your depot back here is all isolated, so...
Yeah. So I can now unisolate. It's got an isolating switch, so just flick the switch. But what it means is I can run extra locos, and it's not a problem, and it'll get rid of a lot of the little niggly gripes where when you overload a DCC unit, it doesn't necessarily all stop working, but you get locomotives responding in a very strange manner.
John Fields this question actually. It's great to see yourself and others on YouTube enjoying the hobby, but do you worry that then makes you a target for burglaries? I suppose in your loft it's quite hard.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I wanted to move from the shed was a security issue.
Yeah.
But I think security here is very good. We've got a lot of security. I'm not going to tell you what the security is because this is a public video. But it's very difficult to get in here. You will also notice I don't tell you where I live. You know the town. I'm not telling you where I live. And we're actually, Zoe and I are very careful when we film things to specifically not include that. And when it didn't actually get used, but when we filmed for Biggest Little Railway, they filmed a day here. And one of the things they wanted to do was getting outside the front shop, like walking up to the front door and me opening the front door.
Oh, God,
and I was actually like, I'm not sure I want to do that because I don't actually want people to readily know where I live for security reasons. It's not that it's like, no, I will hide from my many fans. It's not like a narcissistic thing like that. It's simply security. And if you do videos on YouTube, do bear in mind things like that. Don't give away where you live or tell people like, well, I'll be away for the next week sort of thing because I'm on holiday in the Algarve. Don't do things like that because it's like a red rag to the scumbags. They'll get their best robbing pants on and they'll be round your place quick as a flash.
As you say, a loft is probably the furthest place from the shed that this could go really without going any higher.
Definitely.
Someone says, what's the number of the Gronk trundling round?
It's D3509. It's a
gone?
Hornby. It's just over there. It's a Hornby. Let's change the camera angle whilst we... so at some point you'll see it turn up in the bottom right, just behind the text. It's D3509. It's a Hornby Class 8 shunter in BR Lakecrest green with wasp stripes. And the period that Weir Yard is currently running in is sort of like 1950s into 1960s, steam and diesel. It doesn't normally run like this, but I thought I'd have a change. So actually that Class 8's like, oh, thank you, we can go for a run. I've been set on this shelf for years and years. So like my BR Green diesels don't very often get used because they're just sort of... I'm normally running as BR Blue.
First thing I did when I came up here was actually I took a couple of pictures of them there just in case we don't get to see them out for a little while longer. But they still look really nice.
Oh, which one's what the...
the four here. I just thought it was a really nice photo.
I just moved that forward a little bit. I'll move the camera angle back so people can see them. I think they're gonna... Yeah,
they look really, really nice.
Yeah, and the Class 29, this is the Daypol model that I recently reviewed.
How much was that, if you don't mind me?
RRP, I think Rails and Sheffield are selling it for about 120.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful model.
Really nice.
So I'm gonna where's the camera? There.
Not a microphone.
So yeah, I'm not making that mistake again. So it's this two-tone green really does suit the Class 29, but the model is superb. Now I've seen online there's some reviewers have this hatred of Daypol, and I really don't know why. It's not justified. The new models coming through are amazingly well made. They're well designed, they're well made, thoughtfully laid out. They've got a lot of functions. So this has got multiple lighting functions. It's actually making use of some of the auxiliary functions that you get from DCC decoders, and it's really, really good. James Moody says, by the way, did you get an answer on the Australian plug? That plug looks like it doesn't have an earth pin or it's broken off. The earth is optional on Australian plugs. Some things have it, some don't. I didn't see an answer. Somebody may have answered and we've missed the comment.
That definitely looks like an optional thing without it being the plug socket, possibly.
That's very strange. This is actually what came with the DCC Concepts Alpha box. Because obviously they started out as an Australian company, they clearly still got some stocks left from when they've made the move over from Oz. So they did supply a proper UK power cord, but that was external to the box. Then when you unwrapped the box and got into it, it had come from the factory with an Aussie plug socket. I've never seen an Aussie plug before. When
you said Dapol, someone said cough cough, or West Coast Central said cough cough egg vans. They make vans. I know someone reviewed them and said they were a little bit light and they didn't stay on the track, but I found with just a tiny bit of weight in them, and they're lovely models as it is.
Yeah, they're actually aesthetically they hold their own.
Yeah, really are.
And it's like you get what you pay for. And actually, in terms of value for money, I think that the Daypol stuff is great. And yeah, it's like bits of offcuts of LED flashing aren't that difficult to come by. Next time you see a roofer at work, say, "Oi, mister, you wouldn't mind, have you got any offcuts of LED flashing? I only need a little bit." And actually, the weight off that is... It got a little bit of LED flashing goes a long way.
Jason from Barnum's Junction actually gave me, the wheel balancers?
The balance weights.
Yeah, balance weights. And I've just packed everything. Now, all my wagons...
They're like sticky back.
Yeah, they are. They're perfect.
Yeah.
And they don't shake
works
about.
at Quick Fits.
Stuart works at Quick Fit, so he has an unlimited supply.
Yeah. Andy 1962 says, Sam's Trains hates Daypol and Helgen. You may say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Unless you've watched his most recent review of Helgen.
That's the... I don't know whether he got a quality control dirt. I haven't actually watched the video. I just say that just so we're all square. But I've got that model somewhere, and I thought it was a very good model. I thought it was well made, well finished. DCC fitting was a doddle. It was a really well thought out idea. It was pretty robust, and it ran very, very well. What more do you want?
So I think it was Kev Carter or so. I think Kev on MRYCG said he watched your review, then he watched Sham review, and then he's stuck right in the middle between his two completely opposite opinions. So maybe it was just a factory.
Yeah, and
done.
it has to be said that I had a quality control fail with my Oxford Rail N7, and that did annoy me. And if you get a quality control fail, you think, well, hold on, if I can get this, anybody could get this, and they'd be disappointed as well. But what's interesting with that was that I spoke to Scott Rhodes afterwards, quite a long time afterwards actually, from Oxford Rail, and he said, we couldn't believe it. You were the first person to do a review of our new model. And we saw it come up, and they're like, oh great, Jenny Kirk's done this review. And he said we watched it and it stopped working, and it's like, oh no.
Which company was that?
Oxford Rail.
Oxford Rail.
But a big credit to Oxford Rail. They said, it was a fair point. It was a genuine quality control issue. And they said, we actually, off the back of that review, he said, we went back to the factory in China and went, we need to make sure that this fault doesn't occur. And they actually rectified it. And I thought, hats off to them. They improved the model off the back of that. But if you got a quality control dud, you can understand. But quality control for it, say, running properly doesn't affect how the model physically looks.
Yeah.
So it can still score highly for the finish. It's one of the reasons this year I changed my scoring system, was because I felt that it made for an unduly harsh review. If there was, say, a quality control fault, it just dragged everything down. Whereas if you grade each separate aspect of the model, so it broke, it stopped working out of the box, or the valve gear fell off. Build quality drops. But the actual, the tempo printing finish, or how innovative it is for fitting the DCC chip, you can still fairly review that. And I think the problem is all YouTube reviewers have to bear in mind, you have to be honest, and I mean genuinely honest, open-minded and fair and consistent across all different models from all different manufacturers. Otherwise you undermine your own credibility. If you're saying, oh, this is rubbish, this is absolute rubbish, and actually it isn't, it's just for whatever reason you've decided you don't like a manufacturer or something like that, then why would anybody then look at other reviews and go, that's an honest review? It's like, if that review wasn't honest, how can I be sure that review is honest?
Because it's the same with companies that don't just do trains, because I was reviewing some 3D printed items, and someone commented on a post I put up saying, I don't think the quality of that's very good at all. I've seen people do it a lot better. But again, it's very much your own personal opinion. So if I consider that good quality, if that's my honest opinion, so I say that's good quality, then I like to think that other people will have that opinion as well. But
yeah, and actually the Daypol Class 68,
a lot of people saying that actually.
I don't have a Daypol Class 68 because I don't do modern image, but I've heard nothing but good comments about them. They are apparently an incredibly good model. I mean, my experience of Daypol, I've got the Class 29. That I've actually put down so far. I have it up there as being my personal model of the year so far. What else? I've got the Class 122, and I thought that was a very good model. I've got the GWR rail car, and I thought that was a very credible model. It was a good model. It didn't score as highly as the Class 29, but it did get a respectable score. I've got the London and South Western Railway B4 dock tank, and whilst the model has its faults, it actually is a very beautiful model, and it does run very well. The only narc I have with it is with the DCC fitting. What else have I got? I've got a BT well tank, and that is actually a superb model. In terms of bad Daypol models, I don't have any. I haven't experienced a bad Daypol model, which makes me very perplexed when I see reviews slagging off Daypol models. I don't understand what is so wrong as to say, how bad this is. And the same with Helgen. I've got a lot of Helgen models. This here is a Helgen Class 27, and it's a brilliant model. I've got the 26. It's a great model. I've got the 52, the 76, the 28. What else have I got from? I've got the Metropolitan. I've got 2 of the Metropolitan Bobos. I've also got the 1366 Class 060 tank. What else do I have held? Oh, I've got the Class 7 diesel shunter, and there are no real lemons amongst them. I think the one Helgen Loco which has faults, but I believe that they've been rectified, is the Class 17, but that is an older Helgen model. But I've never seen a Helgen model, certainly never bought a Helgen model, that had faults so bad that I would rip into it. I've never seen that. And Helgen don't send any review samples my way. You know, I would want to put that way. There is no vested interest. I really like Helgen products.
Someone actually just mentioned that not all reviewers state they were given the item or bought it.
That's actually in breach of YouTube and what's the American? Is it FCA ruling?
Yeah.
If you are sent a review sample, you have to disclose that is a sample sent by the manufacturer.
Yeah.
That is, I couldn't tell you if it's UK law, but you have to remember if you play on YouTube, you play by YouTube's rules, and YouTube is a Californian company, which means you are playing by Californian law.
It's worth pointing out though, there's a difference between being sent a sample to review it and being paid and sent a sample to review it. There's all well getting things and they just say, can you just give your honest opinion on that? Then of course if you're paid to do it, then you would be in breach by saying that you've been...
That's in breach of FCA rules. But certainly if you're sent a sample, you have to declare that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't affect your review. And when I review things, one of the things I say to the all of the manufacturers, when they send a sample, they get to see the video in advance of it going live on YouTube. They are allowed to ask for a correction of factual errors, but the substance of the review is non-negotiable, and I make that clear from the outset. You know, if I've said, say, you know, this locomotive is not available in BR Green, and it is, that's a factual mistake. And I will correct. If they say, actually, it's this catalogue number, we have it in the catalogue, you know, cloth eyes, there it is. They go, oh, yeah, sorry. That I will change. But if they say, well, you know, why did you say that it ran poorly? It's like, look at the video, you know, you can see it running around. You know, things like that. Or like, why are you saying that the shape's wrong? It's like, because it is.
It'd be unfair to be paid for that payment to then change the opinion of the final product.
And that's actually how it's supposed to be for all reviewers, not just model railway stuff. It doesn't matter what you're reviewing, be it makeup, be it cars, be it clothes, be it model trains. If you've been sent the sample to review by the manufacturer, you have to declare it. And you'll notice on my videos, the first thing I say is, this has been sent over by the good folks at, you know, and then insert manufacturer name here. It's all above board. That's
what I do for my... I've been sent a lot of 3D printed stuff from various people. First thing I say, they're very kindly sent me this stuff. I've not got demanded a list of items that I want to look at. You know, they put a collection of stuff that they want me to show people, and whether I like it or not. I think 3D Printed Corner, the first thing they said to me, I said, is there anything in particular in the video that you want me to mention about these items, like any sort of selling points that you think that people should know? And they said, no, please just give us your honest opinion, and that's all we can ask for.
Well, it's a bit like with the Hattons Class 66 that I reviewed, it was a pre-production sample. I was sent one, New Junction was sent one, Sam's Trains was sent one. I can't remember who else. There may have been somebody else as well, I'm not sure. And what we were all told, it's a pre-production model, and there was a fault just on the pre-production models, not on the production models, where the revolving axle box covers were a bit loose. And they said, this has already been fed back to the factory, and the production models, that is fixed, they will not come off. But on the model that you're reviewing, it runs, it works, but they might come off. there's no point in saying, "Oh, look, this is crap,"
Yeah.
because that's not
They've-
going to happen on the production
And
model.
they've corrected themselves.
So we were all told this in advance. So even though 2 of the axle boxes did fall off mine, I knew it wasn't an issue because they'd made me aware of that particular point. So I didn't draw attention to that. I saw one of the reviewers who had had the same briefing as me make a big thing about them falling off, and I thought, you're not making any friends here. At the end of the day, why do you want to irritate a manufacturer that's put a lot of effort, a lot of money into developing a model? Nobody goes out of their way going, "Hey, let's foist some crap on these models." Nobody does
It's not
that.
intentional.
And but the galling thing was to do it with something you've just been told that doesn't happen on the production models. It's like were you not paying attention at the briefing?
Good evening, Valleybrook. Thank you for joining us. I put in there, I hope everyone's enjoying, and Hopkins jokingly said, we're just nothing else to do. I hope you are enjoying the Monday stream, and
That's the usual reason for watching the Monday close. Like, nah, it's Monday night. There's nothing on the telly.
there's nothing on the telly any day of the week, I think, anymore.
I don't watch TV. I wouldn't know.
I watch YouTube. That's literally my form
And
of
actually, there's
entertainment.
it's one of the things that I think Hornby has definitely cottoned on to this. Hornby's got a really great social media machine going on. With Mike Day does a fantastic job and has really built that brand. And I think they've realised that actually an awful lot of people, they'll watch more on YouTube than they do on actual TV. And the other thing as well, I've got a Netflix account, and I watch, I'll just like Cannonball box sets and stuff on that whenever I feel like
There's
it.
only so much you can watch on Netflix.
Yeah, and occasionally like Crocodile Dundee came up, and it's like, oh, get in there. And I'm old enough, I watched that at the cinema when it was released. Quality film. So I watched it before it was cool to like Crocodile Dundee. I watched it in the first week it opened when it was a big underground thing. So stuff like that. But I don't watch TV anymore.
New Mills says, Jenny Monday Club is the highlight of my week. Keeps me inspired.
Oh, that touches me right here. Thank you very much. And it is. I feel honoured that you hanging out with us. This is grand, and I think this is one of the things that I've been very, very keen to build on. Is that YouTube has a great community feel.
Oh, it does. It really, really does.
It's not like TV where there's kind of almost like
Barrier.
yeah, the barrier, the glass screen isn't there so much. With this, there's a much more immediacy between people creating content and the people consuming content. And one of the things that I've been really keen on is to try and work with more YouTubers.
Hence me sitting on the Monday Night Club.
No, but there's I've had a few people through. Cottesmore's been on.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get New Junction. Richard, if you're watching it, please.
I've been trying to get hold of him as well because I'm doing an interview with him, but he's so busy at the moment.
It's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. You can never get hold of him. So it's like a shadow that moves in the night. But I know he's very busy with work. I've also, I've had Scott Rhodes came on. We had Scott Rhodes on over the phone link. Had Simon A.C. Martin, who's actually a bigger YouTuber than me. He's not a person that immediately springs to mind because his YouTube channel, he never appears in front of camera.
Yeah.
It's children's oriented stuff. But he's got something like 17,000 subs.
Wow.
I've invited is it
Stuart from Valleybrook.
Yeah, I've invited him on twice. He's always busy on a Monday. Is he actually in the?
He is. Yeah, Valleybrook is in here at the moment. Yeah.
See, that you could have been sat here.
FMR Station House says the community is fab, and I like to think I made some friends, which is a really good point actually. Because as I mentioned last time, I think I was on here, is that I felt quite. Well, before I found all the Facebook groups and YouTube things, I felt quite separated from, like, it wasn't really like considered the cool thing, and it was only really my girlfriend and my family that accepted it for what it was and let me enjoy it. But now you've got your Monday Club, and then FMR does his Workbench Wednesdays, and you've got Stuart on the Facebook Fridays. I've just started streaming as one Tuesday. There's so. And everyone I go in, there's the same group. You see the same regulars, and it's so great to be able to talk to these people and you feel like you know them without knowing them. If that
Yeah, I
makes
went
any
on a
sense.
stream. I dipped into a stream with I think it's Susanna Joaquin. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her surname correctly, and it's really nice when you drop in there and it's like familiar faces in the chat box, and it has this great community feel, and I think that's very important to make more of that. And it's one of the things actually, it's why I keep trying to get Stuart on, because Stuart is kind of like the driving force between the MR.
YCG, he just goes.
Yeah.
He actually just said it's more of a family community.
Yeah.
There's definitely a family aspect to it.
Very
100%.
much. And what I think is very important is not to. And, I've seen sometimes you get people who they get big, and it's almost like they want to pull the ladder up after them. They don't give other people a leg up, and then it's like, no, I want to be like Big Cheese on the block, and I, like to keep the riffraff down. And I don't believe in that.
Which is why actually I was talking to you, and I've spoken to a couple of others on Facebook. Is while I'm doing my live streams, when I was having a 5-minute break, I wanted to use that opportunity to pump as many people's channels onto the live stream as an advert as I possibly could.
And I think that's a great idea, because unfortunately in this day and age, it's very difficult to get a leg up. And from having worked in the media, 5 minutes of fame, my bottom. From having worked in media, having presented my own radio shows at Metro FM.
not to brag.
Yeah. Radio Bolt. Tower FM. BBC.
Sounding like Alan Partridge now.
Yeah. I've got a Lexus outside. If you get 2 Lexus, you get a Lexi. Yeah, let's try the Lexi. Yeah. Oh, I'm turning it to splashy and nice, Yeah, not off. Then what was I talking about? Oh yeah, nobody gives you a leg up.
Yeah.
It's very dog eat dog. And one of the things that actually turned me off conventional media was how shallow and false a lot of people were. That they'd stab you in the back as soon as your back was turned to them. And I find I find YouTube refreshing in that. Yeah, there's always going to be the odd hater, but the vast majority of people are great people, and I'm always happy to big up other people. I want to try and get more YouTubers coming into the. I think it works better if there's 2 people in the Jenny Monday Club. Sometimes it works out that we can't get anybody on because for whatever reason somebody's ill or last minute has to cancel, or sometimes people just think I smell and don't want to come on.
Combat Buddy says bad cough there, Jenny.
yeah. The old the name drop cough. BBC Newcastle.
Paul Harrison says aha. From the old Alan Partridge.
Knowing me, knowing you. Aha! Not their best song, actually. I have to admit, my favourite ABBA song is "The Visitors," which is not a well-known song.
Cosmore says just generating good content along with good networking, ignoring the haters is the way to go. Yeah, I realised that.
Very much.
I can't remember who I first spoke. I think it was Graham from Lakeside who I first spoke to, and he said, well, after this interview, you're gonna get some dislikes. I hadn't really had any dislikes on my channel before that, and once that happened, the people who disliked him then came over to me and decided to start disliking my videos as well.
Yeah, and actually,
it is what it is. I can't.
I've got about 4 or 5 haters who are actually, if they put that kind of diligence into a real job, they do quite well. But they will routinely dislike bomb my videos.
So the way you've got to look at it is the dislike means they've clicked on the video, which means it's a view.
Yeah, that's what they don't get is it doesn't matter whether you click like or dislike, it counts as an interaction.
Yeah,
because YouTube's not thick, they know what some people are like. And I don't live in a bubble. I might not comment, but I read a lot of stuff online. And there's a hardcore of people who seem to resent success. I've seen the haters hate against all manner of YouTubers, big and small. And it's like there's a certain breed of little troll who just doesn't like to see other people do well. And I think one of the things that I like about YouTube is that as a whole, as a community, we work past that. And I want to do more with YouTubers.
Yeah, because when I went to Graham, I'd only had I didn't have that many subscribers, and I was thinking, how on earth can people come over? I've only just started.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to get my foot through the door, if you like, and people are already trying to knock people back. The mentality of some people is just...
I had a video once. It within 10 seconds of it going live, it had a dislike. Now this was a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
But within 10 seconds, it had a dislike.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you hadn't even got through the pre-roll.
Yeah, FMR Station House was telling me, actually, he was doing a live stream. You know, you can preset them.
Yeah.
Apparently someone had disliked it before the stream had even started. How does, like, why?
Haters gonna hate.
What is the point?
Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just like there's a lot more good people, and
That's great. It's great.
It's why I want to get Stuart on, because I was saying before, the MRYCG. I think that is a great thing that he's doing there, and you know, I met him for the first time at Worley, actually, only comparatively recently, and I just thought that it's a great idea to kind of bring the community together, and he's basically done the sort of thing I thought, wouldn't it be nice if somebody did this?
Yeah. Well,
Are you alright? I heard the Yeah, we're good, Cupboard Monkey. Just a suitcase full of used £5 notes, non-consecutive bill numbers will be fine. Yeah. Cottersmore says, Graham is Mr. Nice Guy of YouTube. I have the privilege of going down for a weekend with my other half with him.
Yeah, I tell you what, he doesn't have just a lovely layout. He has a lovely cottage as well. He's really, really nice guy, and obviously.
Yeah, I've talked with him a fair bit on Facebook and stuff, and he is just like he is Mr. Nice Guy. Definitely.
It's not just like because I went down to that interview, and it wasn't much of a business meeting. Like I regularly talk to him now, and I've made a really great friend and been invited back plenty of times to go and see it, but obviously he's got loads of other hobbies aside the railway as well. But I was just going to say with Stuart, I was so nervous to do my first live stream, and when I went to visit him, he made it feel so. I was like sort of a bit anxious about getting in front of the camera, but he made me feel so comfortable about it, and then I had so much fun doing his Facebook videos with him and the YouTube videos. It's just so great when the other people rather than knock each other, come together and help each other.
Yeah, definitely. Tim JD Dowd, Lakeside is a lovely layout.
Yes.
And actually, it's been quite inspirational for a lot of people. But when he, the original incarnation, when he started building the sort of subterranean levels to store his stock, and he kind of had this kind of almost like a helix.
Yeah.
When he did that, I remember watching that and thinking, that's a good idea. And lo and behold, up here in Weir Yard, you know, I'm quite happy to name check the people that give me the ideas. It's actually Lakeside that gave me the idea. You see that the fiddle yard that goes underneath the main layout with the ramp up. When I built that, what I had in mind was Graham on Lakeside, and I thought it was such a good idea. I was like, I'm having that.
I like the ramp idea because I know a lot of people do the helixes, but I think Dean Park as well, he has a siding at the back that disappears. I think it's a nice way to transition between the two.
Because with this, when you actually look where it goes down, it's just like an
actual
underpass.
tunnel. Yeah,
And I think scenically it works quite well.
Does. It really does.
A helix would allow you to have multiple fiddle yards, one above the other, I guess.
And coming up and down at each end rather than through one central point. But it works.
It does. And what I've actually found is I don't actually tend to use it an awful lot. And in fact, this is probably as much running as the layout ever normally gets. So was it you when you interviewed me, or was it it might have been somebody else? And I admitted the awful truth that I get more pleasure out of building it than running it.
Yeah, well, you say you come sit up here, read a book, and just have trains quietly trundling around.
It's like a white noise generator. Let's have a look at some of the comments.
Lots of comments come in.
Alright, I'll scroll back a little bit.
Says, I don't see the point in making bad comments for online content. You have put a lot of effort into the process, and it needs praise. Even just positive criticism. What's it? Constructive criticism. There's a huge difference between constructive criticism and being negative.
Yeah, very much so. And I think constructive criticism is good, but just negativity is just nasty in some respects. Yeah, I've seen it on some of the Facebook groups. You get people who they will post snidey comments when people share a picture of their efforts at railway modelling, and you get some people go, "Oh, that's rubbish," or "What you do," and you think, for God's sake, will you turn your mouth off? Like, nobody asked you for your bile and vile outpouring, because we all start somewhere, and this didn't just come like oh, I think I'll try railway modelling, and then overnight this appeared. This is like 20 years of experience. When I started, I didn't know how to do a lot of things, but it's a learning process.
Part of the fun, isn't it? Learning how to do some of those things.
And at the end of the day, I call them the ivory tower merchants. And it's like, well, you can't do this, you can't. Oh, but we've always done it like this. Those rivets won't count themselves.
Yes, it probably aggravates people. Actually, in my depot, I have about 7 or 8 different liveries of trains running in and out. I can't. It really depends on.
And I think we've been joined by Angus's Trains. Always good to have you in. In fact, Angus, I know you're from Australia. Where's that plug socket gone? Angus, this turned up in. I bought a new piece of equipment, and this was in it. I believe this is an Australian plug, so we're just curious because it doesn't have an earth, but there's clearly like a space for one. How do Australian plug sockets work? Is the earth pin in the socket and goes into these, or is the actual earth pin like either there or never there sort of thing? Because this isn't an earthed cord, so logically it wouldn't have the earth. But in the UK, all plugs have an earthing pin because that's what is part of the safety feature, is that goes in and pushes open like a little slider that would otherwise stop you from just like poking pens and fingers into the plug socket. So I'm just curious, Australian plug socket, what's going on?
Just one more point on the negative comments. It's a very good point actually. Alex says the same people that rip others apart from minor areas in modelling will be the same ones who moan when fewer people come into the hobby.
Yeah, that's it. And John Wilkes, you're absolutely right. Sam's Trains has 69,000 subs. Must be doing something right. Absolutely true. At the end of the day, YouTube is a broad church. There is room on YouTube for people doing all manner of things. I know Sam doesn't do like scenery or anything like that, but what he does do is clearly appealing to people. And I think there is room on Facebook for people doing so many different things. But it would be nice to acknowledge sometimes when borrowing formats from other people to at least just say where it came from. Cottesmore, yep, outstanding Old Oak Common is a fantastic layout by a really talented modeller. Will it be in a magazine? Stay tuned. Winky face. Is that Chadwick Model Railway?
Oh yeah, Charlie. He does some brilliant videos. He's promised me I can visit him once he's actually got something running.
So I must get out and about and visit people more.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot. You get a lot of ideas and inspiration.
Yeah, because because you're from North London.
Yeah, I've travelled.
Ruislip.
Yeah,
Ruislip.
Eventually, I'll get up to Dean Park at some point, but that's
whereabouts is he based?
Scotland.
Whereabouts in Scotland? It's a big place.
I can't remember exactly where he told me where it was, but I looked it up. It's a journey and a half. But then you've got the likes of FMR Railways on Isle of Wight. You've got some down in Exeter.
Because and that's diligent. And the problem I've got is a lack of time. I've just been up to Settle today, and I've.
That sounded like another thing, but
I don't know. No, everything's on the track.
Can we run the DRS for a little bit? See if I can.
Yeah.
No, it's there.
What I'll do is I'll take the. Where's 3509? There, right.
I'm going to come off the comments for a minute while I film a couple of shots of this. So
I'm just going to move the Class 8 out of the way. So
this is set to 30, I believe.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, 30. Yeah, I think you just need weight in that speaker just to stop it from rattling. And that.
Just ever so quite like definitely a CV setting. I'm going to do as you say and reset it to the factory.
Oh, that's shut off. You can change the acceleration curve and stuff like that. So you can fiddle with them.
Oh, okay. Matty Patty, thank you for subscribing. I've just seen you in the chat. Thank you for subscribing.
No worries. And also, don't forget as well, hit that like button on this stream if you
Got
haven't already
218
done
watching,
so.
so,
I've seen that go up to 234. But
Not over the bridge. What happened there?
I think
it got caught on that point.
um,
Try spin it round. Try it the other way.
yeah, can do. Let me just. Yeah, don't forget to like this video if you've not already done so, and also share it too. Let other people know about the live stream. Come on down, everybody is welcome in the Jenny Monday Club. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit subscribe as well, and ring that bell, and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. And don't forget as well, we've got plenty of other videos on the channel.
Someone actually asked what videos were coming. What videos did you have coming up recently? I've got to.
Other videos, right, I've just done a big interview and a shop visit for DCC Concepts in Settle. If you're passing that way, it's well worth going and having a look. Really great. That's going to be Saturday's video. Friday's video is part of my extreme retro old versus new review offs, and it's the turn of the Hornby Super Detail Castle Class locomotive. Goes head to head with where it all began in 00, with the Hornby 00 Bristol Castle. And actually it's a really good one. Quite a lot of these older models, when you compare them to a new all singing, all dancing locomotive of the same class, there's so many differences. But well, watch the video and you'll find out just how close Hornby 00 got the Castle Class way back in the 1950s. What else have we got? And on Wednesday we have got a review of, it's a Hornby locomotive, and I can't for the life of me think which one, but there is plenty going on. I've come back from DCC Concepts. They've given me a couple of different things for review. There's a tool that I want to do a review on, but then there's also their power base setup, and I'm going to do an actual really quality how steep can you go with power base, and I'm actually really looking forward to doing that. It looks to be a really great product.
Just to respond to a comment here, Adams Railway says, Ollie, is that the Lima Class 20 that was misbehaving on the points on Tuesday last week? It was, mate. And so far...
I wonder if it's wheel back-to-backs. It's going round that way.
Yeah, it's going...
Normally when you travel facing into the points, that's when you get derailed. But if you go trailing,
yeah,
they tend to behave a lot better, I've found.
But actually, yeah, as you say, Adam, we were looking. Jenny pulled it apart from me. Actually, we were having a look at some of the reasons why the speaker might not be performing as well. So tomorrow we'll have a talk about that. Actually, and we can.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a very good. I'm very impressed with the way that the TTS chip is fitted in there. I think it's a great sound fitting of what is actually not a DCC ready model.
If I move that camera over to here so people can see.
Yeah. That's just like basically the roving camera on a stick. So
down here.
If I go to number 3, that should give you. You're currently seeing Sky.
There we go, and then.
So this is the roving cam, which I think. Oh, actually, that's a nice angle. If you could get it a little bit lower, a little bit more, maybe to. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
should be able to see it come.
It's a good shot of the. Yeah, when that comes down the hill, you will see it. If you do it ever so slightly to your left, so it can just get the tunnel mouth.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There, just in view. That's fine. And then people see it when it emerges from the tunnel. Yeah, leave it at that. That'll be fine. And let's just see how well this.
How are you enjoying your new camera setup, by the way?
I'm really liking it. Actually, we've got 4 of the high quality Logitech cameras, and there's actually a 5th camera, which is down in the fiddle yard. But yeah, currently down in the fiddle yard is
it's
very
like a nightclub.
Yeah, it needs work, I think.
I just see Barnabas Junction's joined. Good evening. This
Good
is
evening to you.
this
Great
is
to
your
have you.
DRS. Actually, this is the one that I picked up off you. We've had a look into it and ways to slightly maybe improve the speaker. But you should see it coming into shot.
This is actually a very apt car. I'm just if I've missed comments, I'm not ignoring comments. It's just they're coming in so fast.
Look at that shot. That's a brilliant shot.
We've got Swindon 1969 says, I'm pretty convinced that a chunk of people who slag off others don't actually build a darn thing themselves. That is absolutely right. My father is he does model engineering. He builds actual live steam Garrett Road locomotives that you can actually sit on. They're about the size of a Mini and weigh probably twice as much. And what he discovered is, he says, he calls them armchair critics. They've never built a thing in their life, but they're usually the quickest to criticise other people's efforts. So it's a bit like the haters that I've seen screen grabs of on Facebook. It's like, who are you? Who are you? What have you done? Nothing.
Barney says, Ollie, did you get the point replaced? Because he mentioned in my live stream that from Wales to Sheffield they were doing a special time offer for an Electrofrog 3-way point for 25 quid, and I picked one up. I think it's at my house at the moment. It got delivered today while I was on my way up here, so tomorrow's live stream I should hopefully have it fitted in.
Aiden's Railway says, I try to watch the Monday Club when I'm not working, but it's turned into a place of inspiration for my daughter because of you, Jenny. She now realises it's not just for boys. Oh, well, thank you very much. And that is the other area, actually, that I've been very keen to try and encourage more women into the hobby, because what I've found, actually, is I do have a lot of friends, a lot of female friends, who are into railway modelling, but it's almost like it's that forbidden secret It's like,
It's a stigma, isn't it? Really?
yeah, it's a bit, like, there must be men who are into flower arranging, but it's not seen as that manly thing to do. But at the same token, there's women maybe think it's like not the done thing to admit. So when we put together the GMRC team, I worked really hard to get women onto that team. I thought it was very important. And I always feel really honoured when I go around shows, people coming up to me and going, thank you for making it okay to be a woman in railway modelling.
I love that shot of the Class 20 going past.
It is a good shot,
brilliant
actually, yeah. And it's one of the reasons, actually, that mobile camera
Perfect.
is potentially quite
I
good.
just replied to Adam. He says, are you streaming tomorrow night, 7 PM? Yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow night. I'm going to try and get as many Tuesday streams as I can before I have to go back to work on a Tuesday. But that was Barnabas who did that DC to DCC on the... you're saying it's quite a nifty install on the Class 20.
Yeah.
He was the one who
it's
actually did it.
Sir, well done.
Brilliant.
I really like it's quite a clever little fitting in there. The way you mounted the speaker. The only thing that we found was that the speaker's free to vibrate a little bit. So what I suggested is to pack out the box with perhaps some blue tack just to give it a bit more weight.
FMR says, my wife loves the hobby, and so she should.
SF Ratton New Zealand says, hi Jenny from Kevin, thank you very much. Interesting. Andy 1962 says, a wee tip for anyone watching on iPhone, you need to leave the live chat temporarily to hit the like button. Yeah, actually, you just hit the X, hit the like button.
That's a good tip.
Share it too whilst you're there, and then you go back, click back on the live chat.
So Alex says, do either of you have any experience with the Wills Craftsman kits? I've got one to build one back from uni for Easter and it looks quite advanced. What's the difference between the Wills Craftsman kits or just the Wills kits? Is that
the Wills Craftsman kit? I felt that this here is a Wills Craftsman kit.
I thought that was resin.
No. This is a Wills Craftsman kit. But you basically, it's like, essentially what they are is a pack of the material. If you were going to scratch build this, you just buy the materials. Well, the Wills Craftsmanship kit is basically, they've selected the materials that they think you're going to need. And you're left to cut out apertures.
So they're just giving you like a stockpile of materials.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, sort of like, you have to kind of stick it together. And these are all components that you can buy as components for scratch building.
That's amazing.
But effectively what they're giving you is this kit of like, these are the, if you're going to scratch build the engine shed, here's like a diagram of it, and here are enough materials to effectively scratch build your engine shed. But
can we get the Cupboard Monkey a top up on the old...
yeah, Cupboard Monkey. She normally comes running when I shout that.
Oh, she's literally running. Oh my
Told
God.
you, I
Could
told
I
you.
have a top up, please?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Did you do anything, Joe?
No, I'm pretty good, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was quick.
Mark Rice says Lima on Jenny's layout.
You were saying it was actually a really
OMG.
good Lima model, though.
I mean, it's actually, one thing I would say is I've had experience of the Lima Class 52 and the Lima Class 50, and I thought that they were utter garbage. But the Class 20, when I've got a good close look at it, that's not a bad model. It's not up to the finesse of the Bachmann Super Detail model, but as a budget model, and if you strip out the cost of the sound chip, you've paid what, maybe 12 quid for the actual loco itself. That's actually a good starting point. So,
as you say, it's been expertly DCC chip.
yeah, the DCC sound fitting that's in that, I was like, hats off to you, sir. That is a very good fitting you've done there.
Ramo Chairman says the Class 20 does sound and look good going around there. That's a brilliant shot. If you see it on the screen now, that's a brilliant shot.
Here
of
it
her.
comes.
That's brilliant. That's a good thing about having that mobile camera, really, because you can pretty much get any shot you want of this layout
Sort of, yeah.
to an extent.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might get another one. It's like you can end up with a lot of these cameras. The one in the fiddle yard is actually more about, from my use, to be able to see what's going on more than actually showing it on the live stream.
Yeah.
I only do it because it's like, hey, look at this, I've got another camera. But I do want a camera at the back of the layout on that. It's clearly not structural, but I didn't have the guts to remove it. It's like, it's not structural, but what if it is? Maybe the entire house is held up by that stick. So I thought I'd play it safe and just leave it. But actually, it's like with this one over here that the cameras are on.
That's perfect for it.
It's perfect, not just for the cameras, but you see it's also the wire bus go up the side. So
Otherwise, you'd have to go up the back wall or something.
yeah, it would be very difficult, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Wow, 50p Entertainment says, my piano teacher, who's a woman, gave me a bunch of modelling stuff to me and said, I don't need this because I'm making a remade Newcastle Central Station from 1970. I must admit, Newcastle Central Station is one of the models that I guess everybody has that, like the list of models. Oh, I think Dirty Track. Just give it a little nudge.
Dirty track, I think.
Yeah, could be.
Oh my God!
Is it filthy?
Look at that!
Oh, all right. You talk to the nice people. I'll clean it.
I'll clean it.
Oh, there you
are.
are. Just be careful you don't demolish the signal. And careful with the back scene, because the back scene's actually done with chalk, so it does smudge. But yeah, I mean, it's JJ Williams 1984 says, my wife loves the hobby because I am always in the spare room. Is that basically you're not under her feet? Yeah, Ham Shackleton says, Jenny did a review of a Will's Craftsman earlier this year. Look for other reviews for it. Now, it's actually that engine shed I just showed you is what that review was. Now, what you have to bear in mind is I felt that the packaging could have made it clearer what you're actually getting. Per se, it's a good idea. I just felt that it was oversold by the packaging, and the other fault that I found was that the instructions, the cutting diagrams weren't quite to the right size, which annoyed me. It was like, it wouldn't have been difficult to make it the right size, but they didn't, and it just really annoyed me. Flymo Chairman one says the Class 20 does sound good going around there. Yeah, so we can.
Get a couple go.
I'm gonna chase it with mine.
Oh, I'll get a video of it while I'm.
Yeah. And this is the thing, now that I've got the 5 amp booster.
I don't have to worry, yeah.
Yeah. And like, well, there we are. We've got 2 sound fitted 20s chasing each other. But we'll just keep an eye on them. Eventually, they might buff you
Yeah,
up.
well-
Oh, live chat. Oh, yeah, live chat. I think I've Daypol Egg Vans. Are we 8:40? How far behind on the comments
We're
am
quite
I?
far. They've been coming in very quickly.
Canal Boating says, "Hi Jenny, have you run your Mammoth yet? I've just bought one and I'm about to start re-engineering it a bit to slow it down." I haven't actually. I need to do a full boiler washout, probably with something like white vinegar, because it's obviously been used intensively in a hard water area, and that's furred it up quite badly. So, Howkin Junction says, "What software are you using to control the cameras?" It's actually OBS. It's OBS, and that's all running through a new PC. Excuse me, a new PC that I got specifically for the task. OBS is a free-to-use piece of software. There are a few little gremlins in there, but actually it's quite a good piece of software. So one to look out for. The cameras are Logitech. I think it's Logitech C760 webcams, but actually they're quite good for this job. Yeah, John Wilkes. You're all on the same side to promote the hobby, and that is exactly right. At the end of the day, it's something that Ken Patterson, big up Ken Patterson for What's Neat This Week podcast. Don't forget to check him out as well on YouTube. And it's a big mover and shaker in the American railroading world. But one of the things he said when we had him on the Jenny Monday Club, and I was really honoured to be able to get Ken Patterson on video chat for the Monday Club, was that, you know, a bad review, a thoughtless review, can actually really hit sales and be make or break for some of the smaller companies. And at the end of the day, nobody goes out of their way to make a crap product. You know, sometimes things are made down to a price. You know, and it's like, do you want a perfect model that you can't afford, or do you want an okay model that you can? It is simple as that. So, you know, if you do down a manufacturer just for some kind of clickbaity video, you're actually doing the hobby a great injustice.
People are really enjoying these Class 20s.
So we've got two Class 20s chasing each other.
Leslie said that it changed colour.
Well, let's just... Yeah, that's what happens when you get old. Your knees make funny noises. It doesn't help that I broke both knees a couple of years ago. Right, I've got to remember which one it is. I think it's this one. This has got the iPhone speakers in, and this has got a really bad sound quality to it.
Well, with iPhone speakers in it.
Yeah. That sounds rubbish, doesn't it? What's going on there? I'm going to turn the sound off on that one, to be honest with you.
I couldn't even hear it in the first place. Was the sound coming out of that?
Yeah, but not very well. I think I need different speakers. I'm not impressed with the speakers that's in that. So we've now got, just for the hell of it, there's a third Class 20 chugging around. So we've got DRS, BR Rail Blue, and original BR Green. That
Just sounded like a derail then. I think
Yeah,
our eyes are deceiving it.
yeah. I think the back. Just lift it off the track. Pass it over here. I think there's an issue with that.
Something's not sitting right, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it's.
Thank you, I like transport.
That's interesting. Actually, I think the wheel back-to-backs are way off. Yeah, it's that back axle. It's the wheels have spread.
50p Entertainment says all you need is some dramatic music and some dodgy camera shots with the Class 20s and boom, extreme movie scene.
Yeah, a bit like the Great St. Trinian's train
Yeah.
robbery. So let's put that one back. I have a lot of class 20s.
I wish I had that option where I could just put my class 20 back and pick out from another selection of them.
Yeah, we'll pick one that works, shall we? 250.
Bob K says, "Hi Jenny. For us, the model railroad is a family affair. I'm doing construction. My wife does the scenery very well, and my children 11 and 19 play with it. We have got 3 layouts in the attic."
Oh wow, that is amazing. Oh, hold on, I need to speed up the... Which one's catching up which? Is it
Mine's catching up with yours, I think. That sounds good actually, now you've got the higher revs on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Class 20. It's got that very characteristic rev-up sound, which is why they get called choppers.
Yeah, that's better.
Well, that's probably a bit too fast there. Let's just get a bit of distance on the... I was going to catch the other one up now, so...
Everyone's saying, can you consist the 20s together? I don't even know how to do that.
I found it very tricky with the Gauge Master Prodigy Express. It tends to be a bit hit and miss, is what I've found. What other liveries have we got?
It's turning into a class 20 demonstration. Robert Scott says, "Are your class 20s Lima?" I think only one of these is a Lima.
Only one is. The rest are Batman.
The DRS is a How can Ollie take over?
Hi,
Hello.
I'm back. Say hello.
We're just running lots of trains at the moment.
I can hear it down there.
Oh, that one's going to... So you can see my class 20 over there.
Can I get up first before I fall back?
How's your essay coming up?
Just went to the shop and got soaked.
Is it worth that there? Mine.
I took my head off I feel better. My skin can breathe.
50p and Tim says, how many class 20s do you have?
Me, I've got 3, 4, 5, I think. I think it's 5.
Oh my god, look how many's going.
I know, it's with the new power.
Yeah, and this with the new DCC Concepts 5 amp power booster. Oh, I've got a low battery. Let me just plug myself in.
No, if they were watching the camera now, they've just probably seen 3 go past in the space of about
Which camera is it? That one.
this one, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see what it's saying up there on that screen.
Yeah.
So the
Someone says nothing like a bit of chopper thrush.
right, I'm not missing out people's comments. I'm not ignoring anybody.
It's literally all about class 20s
so
at the
many
moment.
come in. I'm gonna flick down to the bottom.
Someone says class 20 plus class 20 plus class 20. Does that make it a class 60?
No, I don't think so. These have actually started buffering up now.
So Garthian says chopper fest.
Yeah, let's just what's that? 6050. Sorry, 2058. Slow it down a bit.
Jenny, what is the number of the black class 20?
I think it's 20042. Yeah, 20042.
Have you got them going at the same speed?
No, they're not liking that. They've buffered up a bit too intensively.
Well, that's kind of... Let's see how it looks when it comes past on the...
Something's not happy over there.
Oh, I'll get it.
I suspect that they've derailed because you might want to just pull them both off. I think. Should we ever go and see if we can consist stuff? Has it got buffer lock?
Yeah, the couplings will look...
Yeah. No, it's alright. Just bring them over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Yeah, no,
I think...
oh, wet. How bad's the weather out there?
I got a signed book from Zoe.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Which book?
Would you be able to sign it after?
Yeah, I can do that.
It is your book 2 all over the house.
I know, yeah.
That's funny actually, I was talking to my dad about
Looks
sci-fi.
like the Beatles on the front cover.
Yes, they're all over the crossing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let's see if I can consist. When it comes back round, I'll
So I'll
pinch.
just ask you questions while you're doing this.
Yeah,
Because I've got lots of questions coming in here.
Sorry, I'm ruining everything.
No, you're okay.
I'm off.
No worries.
I'll leave you guys to trains.
Just gonna grab that one in the corner.
Mike O'Brien says, will this end in tears with the 20s? Vote now. Vote 1 for yes, vote 2 for no.
Which 20's gonna derail first?
Tim says, Jenny, you've said you've been doing the model railway for 20 years. Is there any point you took a long break or stopped?
No, that's 20 years this time round. That's after the break.
Oh, that's after the break.
I took a break of about 6 years before that. And
Everyone is
wasn't-
loving... Sorry, go on.
I wasn't a serious railway modeller before that. It has to be said. I was, you know, you talk going back to playing with Hornby W.
Everyone is absolutely loving the Class 20s. All the comments are literally just gone. Triple header 20s with the coaches, Class 20 Rail Tour. The Black 20 is green.
Let's just see if I can. I've never really tried this. It's always been a bit of an issue, but I can set all the points. Yeah, they're all set the right way.
50p Entertainment says, I love this chatting away about Class 20s with a cup of tea.
Consist set. Number. 8, 1, 2, 3. Oops, number.
Flymo Chairman, we hope to see your good lady around again. If I can persuade her to join one of my streams eventually, I'm sure you guys can talk to her about how much I obsess over this hobby.
20, 92. That one.
Every now and then that wake of coaches back there sounds like one's coming off.
Yeah, it must be just the way it catches the double slip. 20, 42.
Flymo, I'll see if I can get her to come on to Tuesday's stream tomorrow night. But I've made a lot of progress actually. I've got lights in one of the depot sheds now. And hopefully I'll be able to get that 3-way Electrofog point in before the stream starts as well. If I know if Dave Combat's Bunny's in here, you could drop a link to that. You guys can go and check that out after the stream.
Right, basically.
Oh my! You guys can't see on the camera what's about to.
No, for some reason it hasn't consisted them. I've added all 4 of these into a consist and it hasn't worked. Only that one is showing up in the consist. So let's just try that again. Yeah. That's cleared it, right? So program. Can I get this number?
FMR Station House says a lot of people know I know nothing about trains, just love models, model side of it. So why is it done by class? Why are they class? Is that just simply? I don't really know exactly why they put them in classes. Other than to identify the different.
Well, it's the total operations processing system. It's kind of a way to actually keep track
Like
of
a register,
equipment.
like a register.
Yeah, kind of. Almost like a number plate, but each type of locomotive got its own prefix, which was just a 2-digit number. So, like shunters, that's why it's 08 and not just 8, is because the 08, it's a 2-digit number.
Oh, okay. Garthin says, would either of you do interviews at Heritage Railways? Well, I'm certainly into my interview, so I'd love to do an interview with the Heritage Railways.
Yeah.
I'll probably do.
Let's just see.
Oh, those first two, I think. Those first two are consisted.
Yeah. So.
For sure, those two just.
They're not really speed matched very well, though.
Maybe you're better off leading with the left one.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Flymo Chairman. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow.
No, it's coming off the track. for whatever reason, when I'm consisting them,
Melchester says consisting is hard to do on the Prodigy. You need to follow the instruction book.
easier said than done, and it's almost impossible. Is what it's turned out to be. So I think I'm just gonna
Run class 20s round.
I'll just send them all out, see what happens. The problem is that they're not all speed matched, so.
Tops keeps track of type and route availability. If I'm not mistaken, then they get put into classes that we talk of.
Right. Right, so what? Loco 2042. Okay, 2058.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying using these Pico since you showed them to me. I've had to go out and buy loads of these Pico switches.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but if
They're
you look
not.
out second hand, I got 2 full banks of 6 in the consoles. I paid £1 at a model
Yeah.
railway exhibition, which was like unbelievably good value.
Yeah, but they're good though. I think they're really good quality.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's.
Right, so how many we got now? We've got 3.
That's number 3.
Play a game on the camera of how many different class 20s can you count? I love the way the sand disappears into that tunnel. Brilliant.
Yeah. There we are. We're going to have them two race each other. There we are. And we've got one left.
That's one that's just gone past the camera. There's a second. This really has turned into a class 20 parade.
And there we are.
There's
Loco 2042. You need to start.
good target.
That one is actually really awkward speed setting.
Yeah, this is like a slightly different. What, someone's asked what livery is the black one. It's not great. It's like a
Waterman Railways.
Waterman Railways.
I'm not happy. Once they couple up, the back EMF causes huge issues because they end up fighting each other.
Yeah.
So I suspect that those two that have coupled up are going to come to grief if they're not careful. So we want Loco 2242.
Oh.
Yeah, the back EMF are just fighting each other. Just pull them both off. And the problem is the back EMF, they're just fighting each other.
Yeah. This one, as you say, there's definitely got a different speed step on it to.
Oh yeah, I think I need to go in and change the CV settings. I think it's just slightly too many. I can't keep track of them all, and they end up buffering up. Whoa! In fact, actually, I'll put you on and get rid of the Waterman Railways black one.
So you're pleased then now that you can have all these trains running with the extra.
I am, yeah. Actually, that's it's improved it no end. Put the Waterman Railways black one back up there. I think we're gonna. Let's turn the sound back on D8000 for local 812.
Shackleton says if your 20s are coupling, will they make babies? Will it make it a class 10?
the horn on that. It's sounding better
Yeah.
for being used.
I just don't think it's been running a while, perhaps. Oh, is it? Yeah.
I don't think you need to do anything with it. I think maybe it could have been even like dirty pickups. It's just a voltage drop.
No, it's kind of look better.
This is actually quite intensive, trying to keep them from catching each other up.
The chat's just turned into what would babies be of the class 20. Yeah?
It does this. It goes off on a complete tangent. Don't forget to like this video, share it too, and also subscribe to the channel, and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up.
Someone said, would it make it a class 10, or someone else said it would be an 08?
So what have we got? We see on the main screen there, you can see D8000, which is a National Railway Museum edition, which has been sound fitted with the Hornbeat TTS sound chip coming around there. Closely followed by a, I think this is actually a custom weathered. I bought it second hand, so I think that if you buy the model itself, it doesn't come weathered, and this is somebody's weathered it very, very well.
No, well, yeah.
I bought it second hand. It's 20058, and that's a Bachmann model. And then I think we've then got a clean Bachmann Class 20, which is 20192 over there. So
I think one's about to catch up with the other.
that's right. Yeah, it goes very quiet if you toot in the tunnel.
Yeah. Guardian says, Jenny, do you have any Garretts?
I don't know, but I do actually really want to get a Garrett. So a Garrett is on my current shopping list. Yeah, that's actually sounding better. I think it could just be something as simple as a bit of muck on the wheels has increased the resistance, and that's been starving the chip.
It's definitely louder.
Yeah, so
I can hear that over that.
yeah, so I think actually you don't need to do anything.
Paul Lindell says, I finally got in on time to say hello from the stateside. Love the new camera setup. I subscribed to Alex Faxton after finding her on your YouTube, on your live stream.
Brilliant.
Oh, I think these biscuits now. I shouldn't have started. I'm not going to stop.
50p Entertainment asks, could it be possible to get a model pacer train and make it bounce like the real thing? You could do it with cams, but I don't think it would look right, I'll be honest with you. My gut feelings, I don't think it would look right.
Do you have any pacers?
I don't know. West Coast Central Railway says, the haters are back at it again. The stream has 2 dislikes. Only 2? I've been living rent-free in the heads of quite a few people of late.
You've got 132 likes there, wow.
Have I?
Yeah.
That's not bad, but there's 193 people in at the moment. So if you haven't already clicked that like button, don't forget to hit like. Also, Super Chat is available if you're feeling with generous, if you want to dispose of any loose change, but you don't have to. I Like Transport says, if you're enjoying the stream, why not consider buying a Monday Club mug? And I Like Transport has posted the link. That is great. Thank you, I Like Transport.
I have to get myself one of them.
On message.
I've been here twice now, so I think I'm going to have to invest in a Monday Club mug.
Yeah, and then you can use it on your stream. Just trying to get those 20s a little bit more readily matched.
Shackleton said, I thought all pacers had oval wheels.
Sometimes it does feel like that, right? It should have. Has that camera moved slightly? Because we don't see the tunnel mouth anymore.
Oh, maybe I've knocked it around.
So what we're seeing there now is the BR Green and they really are catching each other up. This is so hard to keep them from. It's quite an engaging game trying to stop them from buffering up to each other.
Penny Hill asks, you've probably been asked this question a million times, Jenny, but where did you start out in the hobby? When did you start out in the hobby?
It was my father. He wanted an excuse to get his model railway down at the loft. He had Hornby 00 collection from when he'd been a kid. And I was the one who took the bait. So it's really my father has passed on his love of model trains to me. That's kind of where it all started. See, now I can do stuff like this. This is actually...
It's quite entertaining, isn't it?
Yeah,
That you can
yeah.
get all of these trains out on them.
I think 4 is about the limit. Whilst you can run more than 4...
Your eyes can't look at more than 4.
Yeah, you end up... some of them buff a lot. And because of the back EMF, if they're not consistent together properly... When they buffer up, they fight against each other as both of them try. The back EMF on the chips try and compensate, and they can't do it. And what I'm worried is that you can actually then overheat and blow a chip by putting too much strain on it.
They all seem to be running fairly well at the moment.
Yeah, reasonably well. Paul Lindell says you guys are having way too much fun.
Oh, no,
I know, but I hope you guys are as well. And it's always great to have your company here on the Monday Club. I'm just going to, I'm going to turn some of the sound off because I don't know how well we're
Tim
being.
says it makes the stream a little more interesting. I think the camera angles have definitely added that
Definitely.
extra element of interest.
That camera's actually getting some good mileage
Yeah.
over there, isn't it? So we could mix stuff up and send something else round.
Yeah,
I think
do you
we
wanna-
could.
maybe the DB. Oh wait, let's give that. I'll take my. I'll take,
What was it on again?
It's literally 08. I'll take my 20 off.
Loco 8.
Someone, Leslie asked, what cameras are you using?
They're Logitech. I think it's C720 or C270, something like that. The Class 8 might have to kind of rev its little head off to keep up with the 20s.
You can put it through its paces.
So you'll also see now a DB Schenker Red Class 8. This belongs to Ollie from Wardle Road. Don't forget to go over. If you've not already done so, check out Wardle Road on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm now live streaming on Tuesdays, hopefully, most Tuesdays, when work allows me.
What time are you looking to?
7 p.m. 7 till 8:30, 9 o'clock normally. It's
Brilliant. I'll try and drop in. It all depends. I've got such a busy lifestyle.
You came in for a little bit, and Zoe came in for a little bit as well last week, which was cool.
Yeah, and Zoe is Game Hammer Classic Gaming, so don't forget as well to check her out. She does a live stream on Sunday evenings from 7 p.m. GMT.
What's that channel's name? It's
Game Hammer,
Hammer.
Classic Gaming. So you should see now on the camera, this is Ollie's Class 8 DB Schenker Red. I mean, this is probably the most modern image livery that we've had.
That is such a good camera. I really like that tunnel. It's nice watching it come down the hill as well. So.
Yeah, it really does give the back EMF a workout on the chips. It's one of the reasons that I've got these inclines is because when I'm reviewing locomotives and stuff, I actually want to be able to test out adhesion, things like that, and it makes for more interest, more operational interest.
Dragon Johnson's just joined us.
Hi there, how are you doing? Always good to have people.
Paddy says, I think Graham Falston is interested in doing a Monday stream with you, from what he told me. That's to you.
Yeah, I would love to have Graham on. That would be brilliant. I really want to get a lot more of the other YouTubers on the stream. I do strongly believe in the community feeling that is fostered with YouTube. So yeah, I'd love to do something with him. He is he's genuinely Mr. Nice Guy.
He really is, yeah.
So I think it would be great. So yeah.
Adam says, Wardle Road, did you bring along your 08 with the 20 sound chip? No, I've left that at home for obvious reasons. I can't have 200. I can't have 200 people looking at me.
Well, actually, I've got one which people haven't fully picked up on yet, but let me find it.
Go for it.
I think it's this one.
What is the flag? Oh, is that the RAF flag on the? Someone's asking what that flag is on there.
Yes, it's the flag of the RAF, and the reason for that is I thought long and hard. Right, I wanted a military establishment. There's lots and lots of the Pico model scene figures over there. They're actually left over from doing GMRC. We had loads of them. So about 4 members of the team have ended up with about as many sailors, RAF personnel as well. So what we were thinking was, it's inland, so it would be unlikely to be a naval establishment. I didn't have enough army personnel for it to be an army establishment, so somebody suggested surely an RAF training establishment, which would also be applicable for the other arms of the other branches of the services. And they said something like a meteorology training college. So that's actually what it is. But Les Cliff, great friend of the channel, did the amazing back scene. He made the flag for me. The flagpole itself is actually an offcut of sprue from a plastic model kit, which I pared down to just basically make a pole, painted off white and planted it, and then the flag is card that has been super glued very carefully to the top of the flag.
Someone's asking for Class 37s.
They always do. But this is right, okay. Talking about the wrong sound chip in a locomotive.
Oh, so someone also said opinions on the Flying Scotswoman.
I think it's a good idea. I know a lot of people have been all up in arms and actually upset a few people on one of the groups. But, you know, it's like, give us one day. Come on, you have Flying Scotsman the rest of the year, just lighting up. But there you are. This.
What's in there? That does.
What does that sound like to you?
Not a 25.
It's Class 40.
What, is that TTS?
That's a Hornby TTS Class 40 sound chip.
I tell you what, I've heard lots of bad things about TTS sound, but from everything you've shown me so far, they seem like they don't really need much touching, really, like when it comes to
Hornby TTS sound chips are amazing value for money. When you think they're like a third of the price of like the next up, you know, like you know, nothing to detract from like your Zemo sounds, your Lego Man Biffo sounds.
Yeah.
But where you can get a Hornby TTS one, it's like, actually you could get 3 of those for the same price, and I just really like them. Now that is a Class 40 sound chip. I don't actually own a Class 40. I would love a Class 40 and BR Tops Blue.
2 people actually guessed Class 40 in the chat.
Hey, you know your sounds. But in some respects, what that's actually doing is it's keeping a Class 40 chip warm. Because the trouble with the TTS sound chips is they quite often sell out, and then you can't get them for years and years.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to grab a Class 40 sound chip whilst they're available. And at the same time, I thought, well, let's keep it warm in a Class 25. I'd love them to bring out a TTS sound chip for Class
33.
40. Well, you've got to think about the models that are in Hornby's range. They won't bring one out
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
for something that they don't do a model of, but they do have a model of a Class 25. Class 42 is another one. Do they have a 52 in the railroad range? I have a feeling they might do.
The only chips I ever see for sale, like the Flying Scotsman and the A1s, I hardly ever see any diesel.
Because they're actually so good.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, is they're so good. The diesel electric...
Yeah, Ham Shackleton's just literally summarised what I said. TTS and diesels is okay, but steam locos, the chuff and motion don't match up. That's something to do with the CVs, I think you can...
I've never looked into it. Right, I'm going to turn off the...
Dragon Junction, that one with the TTS, as long as you put the right speaker in the right loco.
Yeah, I like. See, there, I've turned the sound off, and it has the sort of like the engine winding down noise. It's not just an abrupt like, all right, see you. You know, they're a really good package, and you know, I've got Class 50, Class 31, Class 40, ironically, and a 25. I don't own a Class 40. I would love a tops numbered Class 40. It has to be said, from one of the Bachmann ones, but at the moment they're just hard to come by.
Yeah.
I've got Class 37, Class 20, Class 8. What else have I got? But what I am going to do, I'm going to put this 25 away. And in terms of Steam,
I thought, didn't your Steam have...
I'm just trying to find it now. There it is.
That's it, yeah. Should we switch to camera angle so people can see?
Yeah.
See what they're seeing. So
that's the A4, and you'll just see it on your screen now. again, that's a Hornby TTS. And what I find is when you speed the model up, it goes beyond a certain point where it just has no chance.
Yeah.
But at slow speeds, actually, that's actually not badly matched up.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. As you say, it gets to a point where they can't
If
keep
you
up
run them
with
too fast, then it can't chuff fast enough. Because effectively what you're doing is you're running it at a scale 250 miles an hour. I'm gonna take these two off the track.
Tim says, night everyone, had a good evening, we'll see you tomorrow on your stream, Ollie. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Yeah, it's been great having you in, and you take care, and hopefully see you again next time. Right, let me just put these back up here.
Good evening, Dundee Road, thank you for joining us.
Dundee Road, Robert Carlyle.
He's just joined us just a few minutes
he's a great
ago.
guy. I worked with him on Biggest Little Railway.
Oh,
He was
wow.
on that with me. So always good to see you. How are you doing? Sorry, Peter Carlyle. Sorry, Robert Carlyle. That's the guy from Train Spotting. Sorry, Peter. Right, what was I? Let's find some other TTS sound.
As you say though, TTS diesel sounds are really hard to come by on eBay and things. It's only ever
It's because they're so good.
the Steams that I ever see on there that are, the rest are always sold out.
So this is my.
Oh, that is nice.
That's the Bachmann Midland Compound. So Loco 1, 2, 3.
And that's TTS sound as well.
This is TTS. Excuse me, TTS sound as well. So
Have you ever had this many trains running on a live stream at once?
no, never. Those sort of speeds, it kind of matches up. They're not as bad as people make out.
Yeah. Oh, that other thing about there's running really nicely.
Nearly forgot to change the points. So if I change camera angles, as long as it gets around the curves okay, some locos don't like that top track. That's actually matching up. The chuffing on this is matching up quite well. I can't remember which loco is actually that the sound is from. Sometimes you have to be a little bit creative because they don't necessarily do a sound chip to specifically match the locomotive.
Yeah.
So it will be an LMS locomotive for the whistle sound, but I can't remember which one.
That matches up really well, actually.
And there you are. I can't remember exactly which TTS chip is in that.
Steve R says hello from the middle of Canada.
Hello to you, Canadian Rail. Canadian Rail. Oh, that's where some locos.
Just up the bend, the radius.
There's a kink in the track, and I only noticed it after I ballasted, which was really annoying. So there's not actually much I can do about it.
Hobbyman UK say Italy is now fully closed.
But the entire country, I thought it was just the north.
Hobbyman, can you confirm what part of Italy that is?
So, actually, TTS sound in steam locomotives is pretty good. So that's
That's all in the tender, isn't it?
yeah, with the Bachmann locos, the sockets in the tender, which actually makes them really easy to fit.
Yeah.
Same with the new Hornby models as well. But let me find another one. I do have quite a few.
McBenman1, hello from Norway.
Hello to you. And it's been in from the start of the stream, actually. I'm sure it's
There's people from all over the globe
Well, in
here.
fact, here you are. This is one that's actually almost impossible to. I don't think they've released the TTS sound chip as a standalone, but this is the. You'll recognise this, Lord Nelson.
Oh, I've just sold mine.
Why did you get rid of it?
I swapped it for a 66 with sound.
Well, I suppose it. What make of 66?
It was a Hornby for a Hornby.
Really?
TTS sound, yeah.
See, I'd have stuck with this. I love this model.
I do, but because I'm doing my depot now, I didn't really have a use for.
Steam Special.
Yeah, no, I must. The sound of that steam is really, really good.
And again, it's TTS. That's actually quite loud, isn't it?
Yeah, Hobby
Yeah.
Man says the whole of the country now has been locked down.
Interesting. So, I mean, I'm going to actually stop now. It's something we talked a little bit about this earlier on in the stream. So I'm going to just change the camera angle now so people can see a little bit more of how many class 20? Is it just the one class 20 left now? Is that you've taken yours off?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a class 8. Right.
Getting lost with the train.
My gut feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, but my gut feeling is that Alexandra Palace and other model railway events, keep watching like a hawk for news. They may not go ahead, and it's all down to whether, if large gatherings like sporting events get cancelled, then Ali Pali and other model railway exhibitions may follow. We live in interesting times, but it's also affecting supply of models from China as well, which is why you've seen the delivery dates for the Hornby Stevenson's rocket, the regular version, not the Triang version, but the regular packaged version, have been pushed back because of this. But Hobbyman UK says everyone to stay at home in Italy. Steve R is north of Winnipeg in Manitoba. Expat Spain says hi from Spain. Hi to you. Andy 1962, a Hornby 66 with a TTS sound chip takes model to another level.
I must admit, it's not bad. It really is not as bad.
I've heard that it's actually, I mean, certainly value for money. It's a great package.
I think they're selling almost any livery in 66 for that and a sound chip for about 100 quid.
Yes, it's really, really good value. But yeah, Flymo Chairman 1, absolutely right. Not good news, Hobbyman. Steve Jones says, haven't had a day off in weeks, 14 days. Self-isolation sounds like a dream. Might even get round to running in some of my collection. I must admit, I felt really guilty for thinking it. But I remember thinking a couple of days ago, it's like
2 weeks off.
If somebody I know comes down with it, could I blag 2 weeks off and just like sit up and look? And I felt so scummy for thinking that. But I can't condone what you're thinking, but I understand.
Adams Railway says Sam doesn't like the Hornby 66.
Interesting. Ben Man once said, hi Jenny, I was supposed to have a stand at a hobby exhibition this weekend, but because of this virus it was cancelled. Adams Railway, Sam doesn't like the Hornby 66. Quelle surprise. What could he possibly have against it? I think the thing that the Hornby 66 has going for it is it's a reasonable model at an exceptionally good price point.
Definitely.
And that's it. It's not competing with the likes of the Hatton 66. And, you know, somebody who's in the market to buy a Hornby 66 was never going to buy the Hatton 66. And likewise, somebody who wants to buy the Hatton 66 was never going to buy the Hornby 66. So they don't actually directly compete with each other. And I think that in terms of a bread and butter locomotive that you can put out in a whole bunch of different liveries, I think Hornby have actually done a belter with that. It's a bread and butter model, and we're going to see that in the range for a long time to come. And actually, from what I've heard, I've not actually seen one in the flesh, but from what I've heard, it's not actually a step back in terms of quality, quite as far as you might expect from, say, like the back.
I'll have to bring my Hornby one next time I come up.
I'd be very interested actually to take a good close look at it. I did ask Hornby quite cheekily. I thought, I should review some more modern image stuff because obviously, whilst I may not like it, a lot of people do. So I did say to Hornby, any chance of being able to review the Class 66? And I think basically what they said was they're selling quite well. We don't actually need to promote them because actually the good value is taking them to some great places.
One says Hornby 66 is good on the flat but not good on the hills. Luckily I'm only operating mine in a depot, so...
There is that, yeah.
That's just a long wheelbase, isn't it, really, that can affect the...
Is it all-wheel drive? How many wheels are driven?
Oh no, I just mean the gap between because it's quite a long loco. Like if any slight sort of steep hills, one wheel might end up picking up before. But
maybe, but you can improve. I've got the power base system from DCC Concepts, which I'm going to do a review video over the next few weeks. And I'd be interested. I suspect that if you've got a problem with adhesion, a system like that might actually be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. That's
Have you used it?
No, but from what you were telling me earlier, I think that's a brilliant concept.
Well, we've got a theory. If we can fit enough magnets on the underside of a small locomotive and actually take the lead weight out of the locomotive, so like the Hornby Ex-Lancashire and Yorkshire Pug, if we can remove the lead weight from in the inside the boiler and then fit loads of magnets underneath, we're curious as to whether you could run it upside down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, talk about clickbait.
I mean, that's a good title, definitely.
Sam's Trains, if you're watching, I thought of it first. Paul Lindell, Flymer Chenwood, Paul Lindell, I heard about that 88% off the stock market. When I lost it was like 52% somewhere, which is it was a certain company had dropped by. So interesting. Has the oil issue hit you guys yet? Says Paul Lindell. No, but pump prices when you fill your car up with the go-go juice, they're dropping by a few pennies.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When the oil price goes up, the petrol prices very quickly go up. But when oil prices go down, have you noticed how slow and grudgingly they go back down? James Moody says, where do Pico get their stuff made? Currently waiting for right-hand points for the layout I'm building that I ordered a while ago. Lots of left-hand available, no right-hand available anywhere. I have a feeling that Pico make their track work in the UK. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that the track is made in the UK. Peter Bell says, I feel compelled to try and put on the accent. G'day, Jenny. Greetings from Tasmania and Lower Tipford. G'day to you, pal. Yeah, throw another shrimp on the barbie. Sorry, we jest, but yeah, it's Grancy. Thanks for joining us. It's always great to have people here on the live stream. As it gets a bit later now, it's coming up on 9:30 in the UK. We're starting
20 to 10.
188 people on the live chat at the moment. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already done so, because that tickles my ego, and everybody loves it when my ego gets tickled.
Mr. Dreaded 88 says, hi Jenny, I've not been in a while. Had my hip replaced. Well, I hope that went well.
Oh yeah, it's interesting actually. There's a guy where I work. One of the client companies I go to is actually the security guy, and he's just had his hips replaced, and he was struggling for quite a long time. And he says it's like a new lease of life. Once it's healed up, he says it's like, I feel like 20 years younger. So hopefully everything's going to be grand for you. So just you rest up, take good care of yourself, and you'll be back on your feet in no time.
In regards to the coronavirus thing, Charlie from Chadwick's actually just messaged me saying that his money on it at the moment is it being cancelled. Because obviously if it gets any worse in the next couple of weeks, I really don't think they'll go ahead with it either. But yeah, his money's on it being cancelled. We'll have to see really how much it takes off.
50p Entertainment says, are you lads and lasses excited for the Hornby Class 370 APT? I've not got one on order, it has to be said. I think it's a great eye-catching addition to the range. It's not one that tickles my personal fancy, but I can see it's going to be a good seller. McBenman1 says, any good advice for shoveling coal? I'd say get somebody else to do it, to be honest. Diesel1313 says, got the 7-car APT on order. Yeah, I have to say, I think it's going to be a good seller for them. Will Tucker, this is my home territory. From Arcadia Models in Shaw, rushed out to buy a PD Ports Hornby 66. Big up to the Arcadia posse. I do go in that shop quite a lot. It's a great shop. Tim, who runs it, is a real great guy. I haven't been there for a while. I felt guilty actually, because I've been doing so much stuff, so much work with rails. I've kind of ended up buying a lot of stuff from Rails because I've been working very closely with them. And every time I do, there's this pang of guilt. It's like I should be putting some of this business Tim's way. So every opportunity, Arcadia Models in short is a great model shop. And I can well vouch for Tim, and the shop has a great selection of second-hand as well. It's a very fast-moving selection because it is priced very keenly, priced to sell. So get there, grab a bargain. He does mail order as well, either through the website or just ring him up. And it's just great to deal with. So can't speak more highly of Tim at Arcadia Models in Shore. Next time you go there, tell him I sent you, and I say hi. Dragon Junction, 2-wheel drive Hornby 66, but they have a superb motor in them. I have 4 of them. Penny Hill Junction says, the first model I bought for Penny Hill was a Hornby Lima Tooled 66 in 2017 for only £59. Great starter model. At 3 years old, it is no longer performing well, but for a budget model, it's great. One thing I would say, if you haven't already done so, try servicing it, because sometimes the grease in the gear chain can dry out. And actually, you can transform a loco just by giving it a clean and an oil.
It seems that you're definitely going to have a look at the 66, I think, because it seems that everyone has only got good things to say about it. Hi, Richard. Thank you for joining us.
Who's that?
Richard Swiderski.
Richard Swiderski. Hi, Jenny. Hi to you. I hope we're pronouncing your name right. It's It took me a couple of goes and an actual private message from Susanna. I think it's Joaquin, to get that pronunciation right. And it's not spelt Joaquin. It's spelled like Joachim or something like that. But apparently it's a Portuguese name. Paul Harrison says, I've not been to Arcadia for ages either, Gulp. I know, I feel so guilty. And like, Tim, if you watch this, every time I order something from Rails or wherever, there's a pang of guilt, and the little voice in my head goes, you should have sent some of this business to Tim, you know. He's done you proud year in, year out. You could at least give him some business. So the next best thing is Tim at Arcadia Trains in Shore. Look him up. It's a great model shop, very keenly priced. Does tend to price match to the big boys like Hattons, Rails, Kerno, and like I say, has very fast-moving, price-to-sell second-hand range. In fact, that weathered Class 20 that I showed, yeah. I paid about £45 in box, like new in box, for that locomotive, and that was off Tim's second-hand table. So there's some great bargains to be had.
How many local model shops do you have around your area? Because in London there's not many in Wycliffe anyway.
London's quite barren, isn't it?
Yeah,
you've got Invicta Models at Sidcup.
Yeah, I've got Jane's Trains in South West London, and then we have the ones nearest to me. I work at Waterloo Station. The one nearest to me is outside Waterloo Station. It's Ian's Books and Models, I think.
Is that Ian Allen?
Ian Allen, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in there all the time buying. That's why I've been getting all my Pico stuff from.
They used to have one in Manchester, but it's shut. And then I started when I went down to. I spent a long weekend in Birmingham because Zoe was doing something on business, and I thought, yeah, bollocks to it, I'll go down and it's a lovely hotel.
Yeah.
So I kicked around Birmingham for about 4 days, and it's actually a lovely place.
Yeah.
And there's an Ian Allen there, but I've been told it's actually shut. So the one
I think
London
London's the last one.
Man
standing. I believe. Great value stuff, really, considering.
But up here, what have we got? Transport Models in Preston, but I saw a note saying they're closing due to retirement. So Transport Models, if it's not already closed, will shortly be no more, which is a great shame.
Yeah.
Where else have we got? There's a shop in Lee. Oh, the guy sometimes even comes on the live stream. Oh, what's it called? There's also Culcheth Model Centre. There's one in Warrington. Again, can't think of the name. We've got Hattons over in Widnes. Bolton Model Mart in the centre of Bolton, and tell Phil I sent you if you go in there. Also, Phil at Bolton Model Mart still has brand new Mamod sets for sale. So he's got things like stationary beam engine, the car, things like that. So if you're into collecting Mamod, and I did put somebody onto that, Bolton Model Mart, look them up online, give them a call. Holton Model Centre has now shut, greatly missed. It was a great little shop. And there's the Loco Shed at Whitefield.
What's your nearest one then? Like,
Did something just stop? Did the plus 20 just stop?
I just went through the tunnel.
Went through the tunnel.
So how far away is your nearest model shop from your house?
I can walk to it.
Really? Oh, I am so jealous.
It's like if I walk, and it's easier to walk because parking in Bolton basically is an expensive nightmare.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes just out the front door. Walk
You
down.
don't understand how lucky
He
you
doesn't
are.
have a big range, but he can. What he doesn't have, he can usually get,
Yeah.
and he's just great to sit and chat to, and he gets bits and pieces of second hand. If you want like a fully spec'd model shop, I think the next nearest one would be somewhere like Loco Shed in Whitefield.
How far is that? 20-minute drive or?
Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20 minute drive in the car would get you there. And then Arcadia Models in Shaw is about a 35 minute drive.
But it's a fairly substantial shop.
Oh, it's a brilliant shop, well stocked, and it's not just the big ticket items, but all the little bits and pieces, which are great. For, so like you buy the locomotives, but you also get like all this stuff, the scenery stuff, the stuff you actually need to build a big model railway. That isn't necessarily a big earner for a model shop, which is why a lot of the the big model shops, like box shifters, might not necessarily stock it because it's like low value.
Ian Allen's doesn't do that much scenery. It's mainly engines, track, and Melchester Model Railway. London is dreadful. I go Ian Allen Waterloo. Surprised I've not bumped into Ollie. I'm in there every day. I'm on a day shift. You'll find me in there at some point. Normally when I say I'm going to go for my lunch break, I have a quick wander in there to start with and see if I can pick up anything. But yeah, it's taken a fair amount of my money already. So
Steve R asks, how many locos do you have? At last count, I had 116. I know in my spreadsheet of DCC fitted locos, this doesn't include the non-fitted ones. It's up to 175 DCC fitted.
God.
At last count, I think I've got around 200 locos in total, but I'm not entirely sure. It has to be said.
I can confirm Ian Allen in Brum is shut.
Interesting. The photography show at NEC was confirmed cancelled 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Ali Pali's going to go ahead,
Robert, I hope I'm pronouncing your surname right. Cicere? I'm gonna go Cicere or Cicere. Hello, Jenny from Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. First time I am catching you live. Welcome along. It's always great to have a new person in live. Great to have you watching. Thank you for spending. It won't be Monday. It's currently, that clock over there is about 5 minutes slow. So it's probably about 9:45 at night here. So I don't know what time it'll be where you are. Hi to Gonads 12:59. Evening to you. Will Tucker says Pico's website lists all model shops within various distances of your postcode. Far more shops around 15 miles of North Manchester than around London. I can well believe it, actually. There are quite a lot of good ones right here. And Steve Jones says, my local shop is Jane's Trains. Blind Paul says, I'm lucky having Tony's Trains fairly close.
I'm so jealous of all you lot having trains.
Yeah. Wistanston Junction says Trident Trains in Nantwich. There used to be one in Nantwich called Nantwich Models. I don't know whether it's the same one rebranded or a different one, but I haven't been there in probably 30 years. Steve Jones, when I get my full ATP rate, can I run it on your layout as it won't fit on mine? It is actually quite a big layout up here. I'm quite proud of this.
Yeah, you've got that. I mean, that rake of box vans.
Yeah, that just for a change, I've put them running. Normally I have the mineral wagons out, but I thought, as you've mentioned, you like the vent vans. I thought, let's have a change.
I'm very jealous.
McBenman1, hi Jenny, my Silver Lady's water level keeps rising and dropping when it's just sitting still and cold. Also, when is the Mamod steam test coming? I need to do a boiler washout of it. I don't know what could be causing the change in your water level. I'm not sure what would cause that.
Melchester, if you could send me the address of that Ken Rose shop in Guildford and give me some details on that, that'd be great.
Of course, Kerno Model Centre. They've opened an outreach shop.
Yeah, because I'm really struggling for model shops at the moment. Really struggling.
And Donald Thompson, Freising Hall Models. Yes, I used to go there all the time. before they switch premises, and certainly great. And also, if you are interested in Meccano, they're a big stockist of Meccano as well.
Well, Patterson says my nearest train shop is 120 kilometres away.
Who's this?
Rob Patterson, at the very bottom.
Ah, right, yeah, 120 kilometres. So that's about
100 miles.
90 miles. That's quite a long drive, actually.
Yeah,
That'd be
I don't think I could do that for a model
that's
shop.
probably about the equivalent of driving from here to Birmingham, just about.
Yeah.
Steve Jones says Kerno Guildford is good, but if you want chipped locos, you still have to have them sent from Cornwall. Now, one of the things I will say is that I found actually chipping a lot of locos is quite an easy proposition. And if you watch some of my review videos that I've done, one of the things I always like to do, it's sort of my unique selling point, is I do a DCC fitting guide for that locomotive when I do it. And what you'll find from that is actually a lot of locomotives, don't get overwhelmed. They're actually quite easy to fit yourself, especially the more modern ones. So you saw me whip the top off that Class 8 and the Class 20.
Yeah.
And it's pretty straightforward to get in them. And you know, the Class 8 would be a doddle. If you were wanting to put that chip in, I'd never pay anybody to do that because it's an easy proposition. So, you know, like, you want to get into a locomotive. Here we are, Dayport Class 29. I'm going to show you just how easy. Let me just get a grip. 29, pull.
Thank you, Melchester. I'm going to.
And there you are.
Visit.
Lid off. There's the chip. There it is.
21. Oh, is that Batman?
No, this is the Dayport Class 29. It's a great model. Watch my review of it, and you can see there as well. There's the space. That's where the speaker would just clip in. No screws needed. Just clunk click every trip. And that's literally how easy it would be. If you got one of these and want to put a chip in, it's not even any screws to undo. And oops, and just put it. Oops, I'm making a real hash of this. And then just you talk amongst yourselves. Oh my word!
Steve Jones says it's the Bachmann 47, Jenny. I watched the video and it seemed a bit fragile. I think they said the chips broke easily. I want the Police 47 DCC fitted.
I've just
Does Kerno, now we'll have a, so I'm pronouncing it wrong. Do they just do trains or do they do everything?
Kerno, the best of my knowledge, they do everything.
Oh, okay.
That was my fault. I tapped it very hard and I've knocked the grill off. But that's okay.
No.
Yeah, look at that. But it's okay.
I think a
Never
bit of super
fear.
glue can't fix.
Yeah, never fear. I'm going to repair this because I love this model. And
50p entertainment says don't break it, Jenny. A bit late.
Yeah, a bit late for that. So, what's that? And there we go.
I'm so amazed how many logos you've got going around here.
Yeah, actually, the Class 8 is slowly catching that Class 20.
Yeah.
Slowly, monkey catchy.
Kerno Guildford does a bit of everything. Okay, I'm gonna definitely gonna go.
Have you been to Invicta Models much?
No.
They're down at Sidcup. Apparently, it's just over the road from the station. I've been told.
No, I've the only model shops I really went to, well, go to Junction 20 in Kings Langley, if anyone knows that, and Model Junction in Yeovil.
I've heard of that one,
but they've just closed down.
Completely.
Yeah, they couldn't afford the. There was Yeovil Road, sorry, not Yeovil Road in out my way, but they retired because the rent went up on the
yeah,
lease.
that's what's happened with Transport Models in Preston.
Yeah.
Which is a great shame because they actually traded on. I don't know whether they're going to keep up the eBay. She was on eBay as Kit Lady. I don't know if you ever seen listings.
You made a whole.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get the glue out.
It's just getting the last out because the nozzle went and seized up. And I just use a jeweler's screwdriver to just get it where I need it. Because it's super glue, it doesn't set that quickly until you apply pressure. So I'm going to get it into position and attempt very much to not glue myself to the model. Can you guess what I... Nope, there we are.
You wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah, you would. So, I don't know whether it was supposed to be concave. There's not some other part that's fallen out that went flying like a fan or something, was there?
Oh, well, that sits underneath it and holds it up. Perhaps.
Just check.
I didn't see anything else. Did it fall away from the inside or the outside?
I don't know. It's I'll have to look back at my review of the model and just. Yeah, I think it's like quit whilst you're behind.
Matt Slade, welcome to the stream, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Oh. Yeah, it's quit whilst I'm behind. My fault. Hi Matt Slade, hi to you. Royal Morrick Classic Train and Motor Bus is my local model shop in Leamington Spa. Brilliant shop. We did do actually, I did a live stream where it was like support your local model shop and like bigging up a lot of these. And we even had, there was somebody watching from a local model shop somewhere in Australia as well. So we bigged them up as well. Bob Patterson says, once it's dry, some weathering will hide the glue. Actually, the glue isn't showing through particularly. I think...
It's the concave.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at my video of it to remind me whether that was supposed to be concave.
Well, thank you for 50p Entertainment says, well, thank you for doing this live stream. It's great. Give my regards to that broken model of Jenny's.
It's fixed. It's fixed. In fact, let's go to the it's fixed cam. So there we are, all fixed. But what I was trying to demonstrate is actually don't be scared. DCC fitting actually isn't too difficult, especially the more modern locomotives. So let's just, I'm going to just try and find, where's your Class 8?
Oh, it's just 8. Ron says, hi Ollie, did you get the track test from Train Tape? No, I haven't, but if you could send me a link to that on Facebook, I'll pick one up, because I'm definitely in need of one. Do full range. If you visit Isle of Wight, you'll pass a rail shop 50 paces from the station. At least 2 in Portsmouth, a mile apart.
Turn the sound. The sound gets really samey afterwards.
And now you hear that, it sounds very quiet in it.
That I've turned the 20 off, the Class 8 off, and the A4 off. It's just I get bored of the sound after a while.
Gareth, wait. Hello, Jenny and Ollie. How are you both? I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good as well, and it's great to have you all on. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Share this stream to let other people know about the Jenny Monday Club. Help build the community. And also, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. Also, my books are still available from amazon.co.uk, amazon.com. And also you can get them through allmousemedia.com, straight from the publisher. And if you go through the publisher and you ask nicely, you put a little note, you can actually ask for the book to be signed. And then I get to feel important again.
Ron, I did send you a message on Facebook, but I don't think if your settings are on, I don't think it would have come through to you, so you might have to check your message requests.
King Fox Junction says, I need some UHU glue. And sometimes, that actually goes to, sometimes this is what we really need the local model shop for. This is why you need to support them, because at some point, if you let the local model shops go, when you need rail joiners, when you need
there's some little bits and pieces.
the little important bits, they won't be there, and you won't be able to easily get them. And it's like, we need the local model shops. They provide a great service, and a lot of the time as well, they'll price match. Tim at Arcadia is very upfront. You don't have to ask, he just does it. He will price match with the price that Hattons are selling at, the price that Rails are selling at, and it's great. When you get that kind of service, I'm going to just give the Class 20 a little bit of a lead. Right, let me just...
Paul Hinn, West London Models. Is that the one in Hayes? If so, I've been there, and he doesn't do very much train stuff.
I must admit, Bolton Model Mart, he says that he does more of a trade in things like remote control cars.
That seems to, planes and all that kind of stuff seems
but
to be the...
GMRC has made a difference. I heard a lot of exhibition managers and a lot of retailers have said that they've seen a good uptake in like new people coming into the hobby, and I think that that's really important.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. We've never had it so good in many ways with the hobby. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the deep dark past of the 1980s, when actually you could have any model you like as long as it was a really cruddy, ancient, tender drive Hornby model that looked naff all like the proper one. There were some really atrocious models being sold at super detailed prices. You know, they were marketed as being like, you know, like the bee's knee, the like most accurate model, and they were junk, absolute junk. You wouldn't even part with £5 for some of the models that we used to put up with back then. Now we've got all these amazing super detailed models. We've got prototype stuff based on prototypes that you would never in a million years have thought would appear in model form. I mean, like the Helgen Bayer Garrett is one. I do want to get one of those, and I will do a fair and honest review of it. I have heard there are a few problems, certainly with the first release of them. They had a few issues, and what I'm interested to see is whether that's carried over to the second batch. I've heard good things from retailers about them. They're not getting them come back under warranty particularly. So, you know, I want to give them a fair and honest test. I was going to put this Lord Nelson back up here.
I was just saying, just on you saying about how the GMRC's helped.
Yeah.
The thing, there's so many smaller manufacturers as well that are starting to pop up, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, I've reviewed a lot of products. I think people like Hunt's Couplings, really great product. Enwin's 3D models, Hardy's Hobbies, 247 Developments, all of these really great products filling little niches in the market. And I'm always happy to review a lot of these products. I've got a pile of stuff down there, some of which is for review from DCC Concepts. And there's some great innovative products coming on the market. I'm looking at the time actually.
I'm gonna have to go use the toilet.
Yeah. Lifestyle Unleashed says, "Hi Jennifer, I'm just popping by briefly to say hello. A big hello to you. Welcome on. We're just about to round off, so we're going to say our goodbyes. One final. If you haven't already hit that like button, do so. Share the stream as well. Let other people know you can come back, watch it, catch up, watch any bits that you've missed again." And stay tuned to this frequency. The best way to do that is by subscribing and ringing that bell, and you'll be the first to know about the new videos that we've got going up. We've got new videos every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. That's every week. Those 3 pre-recorded videos go up. We've got this Saturday coming up, an amazing video. I've been up to DCC Concepts in Settle and done a full interview with Richard Brighton from there, and really been shown so many great products that I didn't even know existed, and it's such a great little place. We're going to be putting out a full video on that on Saturday. On Friday, it's my now legendary format of Extreme Old versus New, and this week on Friday, what comes under the cosh is the Castle class, and I've got a brand new super detail, all singing, all dancing, sound fitted Hornby Castle class going head to head. How does it compare with where the Castle class all started in model form? The Hornby 00 Bristol Castle. Yes, I have one of those, and I've compared it to the brand new super detail Hornby model, and actually you might be surprised what I found. So stay tuned for that, and then we've got a new model review on Wednesday, and I would tell you if I could remember what the model is. It's a locomotive, but I can't remember what it is. So until next time, I like transport. Boom! You are on message, my son. And
I want to say a huge thank you to Jenny as well for inviting me for a second
yeah,
time.
it's been great to have you back, actually. And
Thank
don't
you.
forget, everybody, check out Ollie over on Wardle Road. If you've not already done so, do feel free
will
to
be,
subscribe.
Live
See-
tomorrow, so if any guys feel like coming and watching me,
Yeah, what time? It's about
7 o'clock,
7
I think,
o'clock.
roughly,
So
yeah.
7 o'clock. Look out, Wardle Road. We'll be doing the live stream. It's always great. And is it going to be the same format as last week? Where you have the yard?
yeah,
Right.
yard with all the depot cam, and I'm going to be reviewing some Goodwood Scenics as well. They've sent me a little package, so I'm
Oh,
going to be
excellent!
reviewing some of their products.
Brilliant. Look forward to that, actually. And it's always great to see new products from new manufacturers that fill niches in the market, and especially scenic products. I think
Yeah,
there's so
I'm a
many
huge
great
advocate
products
for
out
new companies bringing out
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
to improve scenery.
Definitely. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you for having me.
You've come all the way from Ruislip.
No,
Now that I know how to pronounce that, I'm gonna wear that word out. Ruislip. It's spelled Ruislip.
But no, thank you for having me. I'm going to have to dive off to the toilet now because I've drunk so much juice.
Yeah,
gone straight
no
through my
worries. So
system.
are you actually road tripping all the way back to London?
Yeah,
tonight?
because no, just to Oxford because my girlfriend's visiting her mum in Swindon tomorrow morning. So,
right,
she's
right.
going
I'm
to get
with
up early, but then I've got to take my car in because on the way up to Oxford, my car blew a tyre. Someone had left screws all over the road, and about three cars got punctured tyres, and I happened to be
Really?
one of them. So,
So it's where is your? So are you on the spare tyre?
I'm on the spare tyre in Oxford at the moment. I'm going to cruise very slowly back to Ruislip from there tomorrow morning as well.
So it's your car's in Oxford.
Yeah, and then my girlfriend's driven from Oxford to here.
Right.
Luckily,
right.
we weren't halfway to here, otherwise that would have been a bit of a...
Yeah, because
Nightmare.
that's the thing. It's like when you get an unexpected blowout. It's a good job you didn't have two tyres go.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. I was thinking, because I got the, the alarm comes up and it says the PSI of one of your tyres.
Oh, you got that newfangled thing.
Yeah,
where
and then
like,
it, went, it said 19. I was like, okay. Then it went 10, 9, 8, and then I could just feel the car sort of
yeah.
wobbling.
And the thing is, it's like just pull over because if you run them flat, they overheat and start to shred.
shredding, yeah.
At least if you get a puncture and you stop in time, you
Yeah.
can sometimes just get it plugged.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, look, it's been great
Thank
having
you.
you on. Thanks for coming. And,
Thank you for everyone in the comments as well. I really appreciate all your support.
And we'll have to do this again as
Yeah,
well.
I'm
And
honestly,
I keep trying to get if Stuart's
Stuart.
there, it's like make yourself available. It would be so. I think he just does so much for the community. I just
Definitely.
love to have him on.
Definitely.
And also Graham Folston.
I'm going to let him know on his YouTube that he needs to do a visit to the Monday
Oh,
Club.
there's somebody said that he wanted to.
Oh yeah, someone said on one of the comments was that he wanted
Yeah.
to.
So if that is the case, I'd love to have him on.
Yeah.
Actually, it'd be great. I don't know where he lives.
He lives Cambridgeshire way.
Or it might be a bit of trouble. We might have to do it on Skype. Still getting to grips with
OBS.
Skype. We couldn't get it to put Simon AC Martin's picture on screen, which was a big nuisance. But we're going to work out all the wrinkles. But look, until next time, you all take really great care of yourself. And this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now. If she can find the right button. This is the awkward bit. You get this awkward bit at the end of a stream where you're like
Yeah.
looking.
See you later, guys.
Take care. See you later.